Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Carlson arrests right in the slot. Crosby scores! Tic-tac-toe, and the Penguins on a power play goal take the lead back. The captain has two.
Cross court, Clowney the attack, and the finish! The Mammoth Hammer brings his bench to their feet.
Like a high jumper, then he blocks the shot at Collier. Picked up by Sensible, and he gets fouled.
He's an alien. I've never seen anything like him. It's
Oh my goodness! He just ate that one up again, this time Bryce Sensible.
Here's one to the end zone, and Keishon Booty. Dart on first down, backpedaling as he finds Slayton. Nice move and right up the gut. Slayton to the end zone, touchdown. Patriots in field goal range at the moment. Here's one downfield and caught for the touchdown. Kyle Williams.
I'm really excited. We've seen some really good things out of this team, an ability to kind of morph and be good in a lot of different areas at different times. But I think it just speaks to the potential that we still have and trying to put everything together as we continue to move forward.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
I'm chilling. Shane, how come you don't use any Kyle's stuff and cut-ups from Husker Sports Nightly? Huh? To Jess Coach Williams question, or like what are we doing?
That was Jessica that asked the question.
Yeah,
That seems like what he just said.
I mean,
But
I mean, maybe.
I feel like that was the entire point of the question, Shane.
but that's the reason why I didn't use any Kyle stuff.
You do realize there were other questions you could have used. I think
So
that's
let
DB's
me
point
start
here.
over.
Okay.
Why'd you pick that cut?
I like that cut.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna keep it simple because I think you may be on the way to having one of those days.
Maybe Kyle lost his notes and couldn't find a question to ask.
He's funny, man. I was messing with him about his beard. Looks sensational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you see the video?
I asked him if he used beard oil.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even know what that is.
His beard's not long enough. He doesn't need your beard oil.
God, it's really coming in.
When you get to a certain length, the beard oil becomes essential.
How would you know about?
Yeah,
beards?
how would I know?
I have no idea. Did I see the clip? What clip?
The clip of Kyle losing his notes out of the window.
Yes.
So I saw it on TikTok. He pops up on my algorithm every once in a while.
Yeah.
I should probably just follow him, but I don't know. He pops up enough. I feel like I don't have to. But so I started reading the comments because I was curious what people thought. I gotta be honest with you, man. It sort of put into perspective sometimes the people we're talking to. I don't think our audience as much, but like especially like when I'm doing post game or something, because the number of people in his comments that thought he was a coach that had lost the game plan out the window.
Yeah, that's what he was saying on the show.
Was astonishing.
That's what he said. I had no idea what he was talking about during the show.
Like I'm in there and I'm like, and I commented on it, which I don't do very often. I was like, guys,
He goes, you do realize people like thought I was.
they thought he was like a coordinator.
Yeah.
And that he had lost the play sheet out the window. The number of comments are like, oh, no wonder Nebraska, like typical Nebraska coaching staff. And I'm like, what are you? This is the play-by-play guy. What are we at? And the reason it brought perspective to me is like, if you're a diehard fan of a team, you should know that is not the name of one of your coordinators. Yeah. Theoretically, right?
How did Benny Mac get those back? Because I heard the comment where he gave.
So Benny Mac's poise was incredible. First of all, he kept walking in front of me like 17 times. I mean, my man is like, this is what he's doing.
He's just like, oh, let me get that.
Yeah, he's looking down.
You try to get some goldfish? I got some goldfish for
And
you.
I was like, no, but Zoe would like those. She's like, you need to put the Dano sprinkling on there. Anyway, so it's just like super casual. And I'm like, I think this dude just lost his notes. And just like, what?
That's the best part. You're doing your own thing the entire time.
Because I can't believe the chaos. So that clip, it was chaotic. I don't know how he made it look like that, but
It looked like reasonably calm. It looked like he was just like,
oh, ridiculously calm. But the movement in the booth got hectic.
Okay.
So he's got a guy that's shadowing him too, who reminded me a lot of the Butler on Mr. Deeds.
Okay.
It's like I look, and there
he's gone. He's there,
and I go to talk, and he's gone. And then he's like standing anyway. So Ben doesn't say anything, but there's a ton of movement.
Yeah.
So they're doing these motions. They're talking to one of them. Meanwhile, Kyle just seamlessly says, "Oh, and there goes my flip chart." and so I get up eventually, and I thought that the net maybe caught it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so there's a net out in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
it did not.
Yeah, I would not trust it.
It's not like the Top Golf net, like it's not catching a body.
No. So, BMAC, they disappear for like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes.
So like a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he comes back and he just calmly gives it to Kyle.
Oh, so he went scavenging.
He went down the club level on 3rd floor, and it was in the aisle seats. He found it on the floor. I mean, come on. Like, we're on 6.
Yeah, I know.
The thing goes out the window, and BMAC got it. It was incredible.
That's how you know B-Mac's the GOAT. I'd have been like, well, you better get your Google game right, Kyle.
Just win, baby.
Ben never said a word.
He's got up and left and went to go get it.
He's so closet controlling. You know what I mean? Like, he manipulated the room, kind of moved everybody out of the way. He got it within his sights.
Yeah.
And he's a fix-it dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna fix it.
Like, there's a problem, we'll figure it out.
Equipment, the setup, my tweet deck. Like, he's just gonna fix it.
That's incredible.
Do you know what he did with the binoculars today or Saturday?
What's that?
Swear to goodness, I'm not exaggerating.
The new big ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I left them in the car.
Okay.
And I was like, shoot, man, I left the binoculars in my car. And there was a break because Jessica did the player interview.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I had 17 minutes.
Okay.
So I've got to go from where the studio is in the old part of the stadium, where the old Brooke Behringer statue used to be before they moved it, to kind of which is lot 4, which would be the south end zone parking lot for media.
Yep.
So I have the long strip in front of Champions, and I debated for like 3 minutes. I'm like, do I? Don't I? I'm like, God, it's cold.
Because you're going to get stopped like a million times.
That's what I was contemplating in my head.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's early. It's 8:30. I'm like, not going to be a ton of people. Not yet.
Yeah.
So I go down there, and the 2 people at the gate, the lady, she's like, well, I'll let you back in. Don't worry. You don't need your security. She's so stinking cute. And I was like, okay. Like, do I, don't I? And the older guy, he's like, just do it. Go for it. Do it. Because I'm like faking like I'm going to go out the door. I'm like, man, do I? I'm like, shoot, I'm running out of time.
Yeah, I was like, you're burning minutes.
Man, I went out. I turned the corner. I came right back in. The lady kiss. Change your mind? I was like, yeah, I ran out. This is all happening like during the show. But you work with me, so nothing surprises you.
Yeah.
So I go back upstairs, and Josh, our engineer, is like, well, what happened? And Ben goes, chickened out, huh? And I go, yeah, because before I left, I was trying to, in my head, picture every way to go.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I could go down under the tunnel, the red carpet, the old locker room, enter the building that way. I don't have to go outside. But then Ben was like, I don't know, man. Like, are those doors going to open? Because you have to swipe some of the doors. So short story longer, I'm like, will you go with me to get my binoculars? He's like, no, it's freezing. I was like, well, we can just go after we do the hit on the field. And he's like, no. I'm like, Ben, just walk with me to go get the binoculars.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, let's go. So we went to the car. We got the binoculars. And it was really crowded in the room because we had the Sharp family in there, which was fantastic. He's being shadowed. So Like I didn't get my normal setup. You know, I usually like this here, and I was afraid to like kind of get in my deal, so I didn't adjust the binoculars.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this thing, right? Because we work together. He goes, and I look, and he goes. I was like, oh yeah. So I gave him my binoculars. He fixed them. He gave them back to me. He never said a word. He goes. I was like, this dude's amazing.
I love that dude.
Dude, and you know what? His delivery is so off-putting and engaging at the same time. It's incredible.
Yeah.
He's like,
you're like, I think you're a jerk, but I kind of want to hang out with you.
Dude, he's like the cool. I'm telling you, he's like one of the coolest dudes, and he's stealthy.
That's the needle I'm trying to thread. Jerk, but I still kind of want to hang out with him.
He's like, no. Kind of like when I asked you, I go, you think the Patriots are going to be good?
Like that, like, ugh.
And you go, yeah. Oh, okay. Vrabel first year, like better than the Jets? Yeah. Well, Jets roster's pretty good. No. No. I'll remember, like, deliveries bug me.
I know they do.
No.
They just do. Like, you can say it a different. It used to drive Severe crazy.
I'm a tough guy to work with if deliveries bug you.
Listen, I work with Severe. It didn't matter. He's like, hey, you always talking to me about delivery. Cares about my delivery. Remember those days? I mean, we would argue. I was like, you can't say it like that.
Yeah.
He, of course, had a couple comments about the only people that care about delivery, and I was like,
empaths?
More like females.
Oh, okay.
I was like, hey, that's not me.
I'm a boy.
Exactly. I feel like that was a Family Guy episode. Yeah, so I'm over the delivery thing.
Headley says, I'd like a statue of Sue throwing Colt McCoy somewhere around the stadium.
Wouldn't that
Just
be something?
Tossing him.
Yeah, Sue's all in.
Yeah, we love Sue.
Yeah, he's back.
And we like it. It's good to have the guys like Sue back.
It started with his social media presence, being engaging a couple years ago.
Yeah.
His wife, the fam, and then
yeah, they do the TikToks on there.
And I think as he's gotten more into retirement, it's like, yeah, I think I like my alma mater again.
I think him and the head coach get along. Seems like
they do. And I appreciate your anger yesterday, leading to the news of the day, which was kind of fun.
A little surprising. I like timing wise. I thought it was possible. I didn't think it would happen yesterday.
Me neither.
With John Butler getting let go. I thought it was on the table. I thought it would take a couple days at the very least. So that was timing of it was pretty surprising because it happened like an hour after we were off the air.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't a long time.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I think that I don't know if it makes people happy. I do think it relieves some people that weren't fans all along, and obviously it got away from them pretty clearly at the end. And I obviously expressed my frustrations about, and I don't know, is that a dumb thing to get mad about? Like the personnel?
No.
Like, because that's the thing, like, that's what I couldn't get over. And maybe it's because I don't understand the scheme well enough to get mad at it.
Well, I think several thousand people are mad about it.
About the personnel part?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know, like on a base level as a coach, regardless of what you're coaching, I always feel like you have two options. Either play the guys that can run your system or run a system that the guys you want to play can play. Mm-hmm. Those are basically the only two things you can do.
I concur.
And he wasn't doing either of them.
So
it didn't feel like to me.
I'm not going to throw the baby.
To me.
What about the baby? So ugly.
What about the baby?
Especially towards the end of the season.
Yeah. So
I don't want to say at no point was he not doing either of those things, but by the end of the season, that's how it felt to me. And I was like, I don't know how you get that back.
Yes, Juan, I've had a hot dog, but it's not a hot dog like you'd think I'd eat a hot dog. This was probably 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I went down. Noddle's booth is right below me. That's my guy. So I go down there every week. And he's everywhere these days. So I didn't want the bun, but they had a slice of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
So I used the cheese as the bun, and I wrapped the hot dog. And I took 2 bites, and I went up from 5th floor to 6th floor. By the time I got back to the press box, I threw the plate away. I got my 2 bites. So, Juan, that's the hot dog that I ate. Just asking that question. Now, anyway, back to Coach Butler.
But yeah, so I thought, especially by the end of the year, it became clear, hey, like I understand there's going to be growing pains with certain guys, but it became clear at a certain point, like, hey, the guys you keep putting out there aren't giving you what you want. So either those guys aren't it, or you're asking them to do something they can't do, or are currently, right? I get a lot of guys on that defense are young. So when I say they can't do X, I mean they currently could not do that thing. Not that they'll never be able to, right? I think that with the right defensive coordinator and the right scheme, a lot of these guys could develop into really good players still. But the other part that
But what about the baby?
the other part that killed me was we just didn't see them, especially on the back end. They just didn't rotate anyone in there. And it's not like it was so good, especially by the end of the year.
Are you trying to mess with me?
No, I'm really not. It's the
you could easily piss me off.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to tell you how I felt about the situation. Like, don't get me wrong. There were guys I was
looking for an escape hatch.
I don't think we have one here unless they rebuilt one after the NebPreps Awards last night.
No.
Listen, I was mad about some defensive line stuff too. Like, I thought for a while it looked like Judy wasn't getting it done. Try somebody else, you know? I thought for certain stretches of the season, like, hey, is there anybody else that could play linebacker? Like, give us a shot here? Because clearly there were issues, I thought, on each level, right? But I think the most frustrating part was with John Butler's background as a defensive backs coach, and it felt like that was the place they were rotating people the least. You don't have to comment if you don't want to. That's just how.
What do you want me to say? Do you want me to say that?
No.
That I think my kid should be playing?
No, I'll say I think your kid should have been playing. I've texted him that. I was like, hey, Caleb, tell him to put you in there. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know how I feel about Caleb's ability as a player. And I thought that, like, before I even knew him, right? Like, I thought he was a good ball player. So it's not just about Caleb or anybody else. It's also just we saw guys, and it's not about one guy in the secondary. We saw guys struggle. And, yes, the Malcolm Hartzog injury has something to do with that because you started having to move guys around in positions they weren't super comfortable.
So I'm not going to throw the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it differently. Out with the bathwater. What? I just saw that Austin entered the chat, so I'm happy.
Oh, good.
Hello.
Is that your guy today?
Austin?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm just glad that he's up and amongst the living.
Always.
Yeah. I mean, 6 feet above ground. That's a good day. So there's lots of things that we talked about over the course of the year. And I'm not typically overreactionary, and I'm super boring. So it's like when I'm processing through what's going on, I'm trying to look at it from multiple advantages. Like, I had to cut Ryan off. Like, number one, he had too much to drink, but he was asking me some questions after the game.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell it was 2 degrees out, and my man was trying to stay warm. So he's like, what's DB the apologist going to say? And I go, huh.
That's a bad way to start. Can I just
especially after the Iowa game.
Like, that's just a bad way to start.
And I haven't been mad at him in 15 years or however long we've known each other. And I'm like, yeah, that's going to get you cut off. I'm like, do you want an explanation, or is this am I going to be an apologist? Because that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But I understand. Listen, I'm not dumb. Like, I get how if you listen to me long enough, I can rationalize what's going on, even if I don't like it.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
you can see how they got to what they're doing.
Which is the only thing that I usually ever talk about unless you ask me my opinion on it.
Yeah.
All right. So let me back up. So I talked about the Hartzog thing.
Mm-hmm.
I said that's a bigger deal than
people gave it credit for.
Than people give it credit for.
For sure.
Right? Because you start with this premise. That's over here. Now, you do have to build it in such a way where you can overcome that if it happens. You can't always operate in best case scenario. As if ideally everything that you want to execute is going to happen.
Correct.
Like
that doesn't happen almost ever.
But there's a fine line in like, this is how we're going to do it. Understand the concept. Once you understand the concepts, then we should just be able to go. If you're going to be like that, you have to teach it like that.
Correct.
It can't be, well, we don't have this, so we're going to do this. But for a second, they seamlessly transitioned from moving Sierra outside
into the slot
to inside. You seemingly, and I get it, people didn't, some people didn't like the safety changes early, right? It was like, but I do think a lot of people, like, let's not act like everybody didn't hop on the, ooh, this player's going to be good train early. Because we heard Coach Rhule say, hey, this player and this player could be all conference this or Big Ten caliber this or whatever, right? So we kind of had that in our mind. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to watch this unfold because what I know is really, really hard. I want to go back to just a couple of quick things. I said, hey, I wonder, like, does Coach Rhule, do they really want to fit out of quarters? Do they?
Yeah, you brought that up early.
Really
early. Yeah. That was a conversation with MRI.
Because I'm like, well, how do they want to play it on the back end? And I'm telling you, I need to go back and find it. It was early in the press. He's like, we're playing quarters now. And I'm like, you have to really practice fitting in the run game out of quarters. You just do because it stresses your safety. So I'm always thinking like that. I'm like, okay, everybody plays a different system than maybe I would want to, or, Chenander would want to, or, Jim Knowles would want to, or whomever, right? Matt Patricia. Like, your system is your system, and you can make it work. But I do know, like, I think what it takes if that's what you want to do.
Yes.
Like, okay, it has to be somebody like this, or you need guys like that.
You should know what type of guys you need to run the system you want to run. Right. That's pretty simple.
Right. Like, Micah wants to move inside. He's like, I want to be a nickel or I want to play safety. I'm like, in our defense, this is what you better be able to do.
If you want to play one of those spots.
If you can't do this, then
you can't move inside.
You're not moving inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty simple.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna,
like, when I was basketball coach, it's like, hey, I want my point guard to be able to do X, Y, and Z in order to run the system. If you can't do those things, you're not playing point guard.
Yeah.
That's or I got to change the system.
Or you got to change the
because
system.
you're such a dynamic talent. I have to figure out a way to use you.
Yeah. So you want to be an explosive movement front. And I told you, I was talking to Coach, and he's like, man, I'll never live that comment down. And I said, that happens. Right? He's like, I'm not doing anything with you guys ever again. Laid out. He's joking, but he's not, right? Because the explosive movement front, when he said it, was how they wanted to play. I don't have any problems with that. Like,
because that can work.
Yeah, you don't have to go back and you don't have to go back and get that. Even though there's this faction, and we addressed this a couple weeks ago. There's this faction that says, well, why didn't they do this in the preseason in the portal? And I'm like, you guys, you're not afforded the luxury of revisionist history. Like, well, everybody could see. No, you guys, you're starting with the wrong supposition. The supposition is, if you have these guys, then this is what will happen. That's not how it works, right? The supposition is, if you're the coaches, I have these guys. These are the guys that I got in the portal. This is how I want to play. So I said a couple weeks ago, you have to decide what happened to the philosophy versus the desired outcome. You thought you were going to do this. It didn't turn out to be the way you wanted it to. Why? Is it evaluation?
Yeah. Did we think the players were somebody they weren't?
Is it the schematics? Is it the development?
Are we coaching it wrong?
Is it a combination? Like,
yes.
So I'm going to eat the meat and spit out the bones. I don't need I told you so. We need a 320 pounder. We don't. We don't. You stop the run with effort and toughness. You defend the pass with skill. period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how you get there. 3 down, 4 down, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a mindset. So if you want to be an explosive movement front, you have to teach explosiveness and movement.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever the reason, it didn't look very explosive. Did you want to be a stunt guy and figured out, the guys I want to play are not really stunt guys? Or it could be this. These guys are really young, like Keona Davis and Winari. Those guys are really explosive. Oh, shoot. Little boomer bust.
Yeah, pretty young.
Pretty young. They may need a little bit more time. They're going against, grown-ups.
Yeah.
Or, Gabe Moore, he's starting to come around. Very inexperienced at this level.
Yeah.
Needs time, right? Petchuk, they needs a little time. Inexperienced. So you're tinkering with that all season. But you still have to try to win games. So we're watching this thing unfold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like everybody, the opinions are starting to form.
Sure.
Right? We can't do this. We're good at this. We can't do this. Meanwhile, coach, you still have to coach. You can't go get new players. You can just continue to develop and work with what you have. Couple of things where I think, because you could kind of see this coming, but schematically you had to play different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Nebraska's just not in a position defensively where their dudes cannot afford to not be dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You had a very small margin of error.
Yeah.
That means while you're developing what you need to do, you need Williams, you need Winari to have an excellent week.
Yeah.
You need Keona Davis to be locked. You need Riley Van Poppel to be tenacious. You need Gabe Moore to do this. You need you're only going to play about 6 or 7 guys, right? You couldn't afford. You needed Judy to develop, right? For whatever the reason, his body progressively got worse during the course of the season.
Yeah, seemed like it.
He's a big guy that never really seemed to get in. Now listen, I'm not even going to sit here and pretend to tell you I can't balance my own family, and I'm 50, right?
Yeah. So
I don't even know what you do at that age with a family, but it is what it is, right?
It's a complicating factor for sure.
So I want to be cognizant of that, and I think Nebraska wanted to be cognizant of that, because what happens with coaches sometimes is you see these flashes.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who the player is. It could be.
It's hard to get out of your head.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Right. So I can see Rex make a play, or I can see Shavers make a play, or I can see Wright make a play, or I can see Singleton make a play, or I could see Judy make a play, or I could see what. And it's like,
oh, that's what he's capable of.
That.
Yeah.
So the hard part is, while you're trying to grow in the season, is managing it. Where I think it ultimately got away. Whatever. So I'm just giving you all the the variables.
Yeah.
Where I ultimately think, this is just my opinion. You didn't ask, but
we got into it.
This is where I think it got away from him.
Yeah.
So philosophically, you had gotten away with chunk plays, no chunk touchdowns.
Tackle them, make them snap again.
Yep. But you were really, really good against the pass. I said this.
Still second nationally.
It started to get away from you during the UCLA game. I'm like, you cannot let UCLA throw for those kinds of yards. People looked at me. You're ignoring. They can't stop. Listen, man, I know what they're trying to do in the run game. They're making a concession. They're not saying, hey, run the ball on us. We're saying, hey, we don't want to give up. We'll do this, this, and this, but we're not going to do this. But you started to do both.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So UCLA started to rack up, big passing. He wasn't efficient, but you were getting chunked. Then Penn State, right? Less yards per carry than that team was going for when they were getting hot. The rushing yards were still too much. But it was on average for what they do.
Yes. Correct.
The passing game was not.
Right.
Can't go 11 to 12 for $188.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Iowa, they run the ball for 213,
217, 213, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Not gonna get you killed.
No. Especially the way they were doing it.
You can't go for 166 at the same time.
Yeah.
I get it. 377 is not, or 379 is not it's not even the total yardage.
Mm-hmm.
It's what your defense is allowing the opponents to do, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're progressively getting worse, and the philosophy is it's the opposite of what you're trying to show.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you sold me as a partner, hey man, like my job, just trust me on this, DB. Like I'm gonna keep us on task, and I'm gonna be the hammer, and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Over time, if you start to not be that, I'll be like, huh?
Yeah.
You told me
XYZ.
Right.
Yeah.
So and then ultimately, and I don't see, this bugged me.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't like revisionist history because I said it real time. I don't think you can say to the masses what you need when it was your philosophy to begin with after you see it didn't work.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
That's hard to.
That's hard to get me. It's like, and I'd like today, like if he's like, hey man, let's go get a ginger ale. I know you love my son. I'd be like, cool. Because he's super smart.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that he's a big picture guy. But this business is about, like, you have to have some resolve.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd always give you the three options, right? You can double down on the process. You can ask yourself what you could do differently. Because early in the preseason, he said, hey, I'll look and see what's happening.
Yeah.
This was in the press.
Yeah,
I'll look and see what's happening, and I'll adjust.
Yeah. Like, hey, maybe we'll end up doing a little bit more of this, or maybe we'll end up doing a little more of that, whatever.
So, I think, when you're looking at when he intimated, and I wanted to be clear with Sam, right? He intimated about the body types and stuff in the pro. I'm like, I'm just telling you guys, like, that sends a bad message to your team. And like, we went through this process together early, and they were like, okay, if this is the vision, let's do it. You're not afforded the luxury before it's over
to be like, oh, well, we should have had that.
Yeah. Like, I felt like
dang, kind of getting away from him at that point.
Yeah.
The thing that, and to address, I think Terrence mentioned it here, and you brought this up, right?
I don't know, did I? What are you going to say?
You don't love the optics of what it looks like in the run game, right? But you can understand what they were trying to do. And as long as the pass defense was as good as it was, it gave you a shot. That was sort of my point all year, was if the pass defense is going to look like it is, and you're not giving up the touchdown runs the way you did against Michigan, which was really the only game they did that, of the long runs actually being like scores. As long as you're not doing that, you're going to give yourself a shot. The problem was, like you said, starting at UCLA in the second half, and then obviously Penn State and Iowa, you also stopped doing the thing that gave you a chance, right? So at that point, you're not really bringing anything to the table that lets me hold on to it and say, yeah, I can see what you're trying to do. Or maybe I could still see what you're trying to do, but you weren't executing any of it at that point, right? So that's what the change was from, say, USC, where they hold one of the best offenses in the country to 200 yards under their average and half their points, to UCLA and Penn State and Iowa, where you go, oh, well, the pass defense is gone now too. There's really nothing left.
So I think the part we're missing, and we don't know. Like, you really just don't know. You can only kind of go by what you see. And I don't know. Do we have just this week?
Yes,
Thursday.
Okay. Or somebody else that's down on the field. Jess will be perfect. I wonder about, because the thing that bugs me the most is I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like the
vibe on the sideline.
It just seemed like they're too easily broken. Right? I go through this in my head now. This is totally a coach in me. This isn't anything else.
Yeah.
But if I'm going in at the half, and I say to myself, because this is how you have to look at it, right? It's, hey, look, fellas, hey, that 2-minute drive, that's on me. However you say it, right? They had 123 yards going into there with 2:47 to play. We gave them the ball back. We got the 1-yard gain on first down. We had been really good against the handoff run game. They quick snapped us. They went tempo. Only time they had shown tempo. Good on them, right? Good on them. They went tempo. They got us. They ripped off the 34-yarder. That's at the time where you're like, okay, get your composure. Hey, we got to be better. We got to get lined up. They caught us. You can't compound the problem. Like Nebraska over the last 10 years has had this unique ability to compound the problem.
Yes.
And it happens in a hurry. So even if you go down at the half, giving up the score, and I'm like, oh, fudge, man, ineligible lineman. There's lots that could have happened, but you don't complain about that. What you do is you're like, it's 24-16. It's a one-score game, right? So they come out at the half. They get 2 stops in a row.
Yep.
Right?
Don't take advantage at all.
Offense is whatever. Like
putters out, yeah.
Well, because quietly. You want one of the dirty. Go look at the play sequence.
I know.
Right. Oh, I don't have to we haven't even talked about this.
No, I know.
Didn't love the play sequence.
After Emmett goes for 177 in the first half, and then you don't just automatically start hammering them again with him.
So we didn't really talk about that, right?
Because you give a 40 to Iowa, you look at the defense first. Like, I get it.
Yeah, but
right,
it's 40.
Yeah, I know.
But I hate how, and it's like I have to totally reconcile this. You think I would be able to do this? Like, people say things all the time that I don't agree with, and they never say why. They just say it because it's easy to say. Like, you can't give up 40 to Iowa, or I knew this wasn't gonna work. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
It's chances are when you say anything about Nebraska football, if you lean toward the negative, there's like a 90% chance you're going to be right. Yeah. Right? But you don't know why. It's just the Nebraska way as of late. I have to get over that. I'm not going to kid you, though. It bugs me because I hate when people act like when they see the end outcome, like they know how they got there.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I should feel like it's important to know why you got there. It bugs me when you don't, though.
Sure.
Right? That's a whatever you call it. It's either I don't know what it is, but like that's how I think. So you don't move the ball on offense
because you get away from the thing that you were dominating at.
Yeah. So one of your better players for the third time inexplicably does something in the return game. Two of those returns were ill-advised on kickoffs.
Yeah.
But because you want to make a play for a playmaker, you let it go. See, at some point,
you got to say, hey, you can't do that.
And be cool with it.
Get out of there.
And be cool with it.
Yeah.
Just let it ride.
Yeah.
Right? But you weren't. You make them kick it again. You fumble it again. Boom. Safety. You think you're going to get the targeting call. And I said during the broadcast, sure, that's targeting, but take better care of the ball.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like, ultimately. So it's, what is it, 26-16? And then it's like a flower that just
got away from them immediately after that.
And I'm thinking, do you guys realize it's not a Coach Rhule's message can't be, I don't think, to us. He's got to go macro. He's got to say, I'm overseeing the program. I have to do this, this, and this. But I'll say this, internally, I do think it's important to look at the micro of, listen, fellas, against Penn State, it was this, this, and this. And these plays right here, this is what happened. Why? You take the same crop of plays in Iowa. Hey, we were here, here, and here in a one-score game. Why? Hey, at Minnesota, at this juncture, it was this score. We had the ball. What you need to crop all those sequences.
Yeah, you need to do
and ask yourself why that happened.
Yeah,
because it's
basically need to audit. You need to audit the losses and be like, hey, and go like line by line.
It's on repeat.
Yeah,
it's on repeat. So you don't want to hear it's little things, but it's little things.
It almost always is.
And
usually
it gets magnified when you don't or can't or whatever fall back to like the training. What is it that we do in these situations with our composure? How's the behavior model? Like people don't want to hear that, but I'm just telling you, it matters. Go back and he drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
But you know who has a super consistency of message?
Who's that?
Signetti.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not, listen, I give you the eye roll when I say, why can't we be Indiana? But there are some things. He's clearly a good coach.
Yeah, there's certainly things about him.
He talked about his special teams coordinator that's been with him for X amount of time. his defensive coordinator who's been, I think between the three, they've been with him for 33 years. We get mad at guys that surround themselves with people they know or have past relationships with. Like but it's because we're losing.
It's also
if we were winning, it's
also what every coach ever does.
I just want to keep it right here.
I know
because I'm not going to point things. I'm trying to help here. So he talks about being like relentless in the day-to-day. When everybody in the building echoes that same sentiment of being relentless on the day-to-day, you give yourself a chance. You don't hear like what happened in Minnesota where a guy says, and I don't know if I would have said it or not, but he's like, hey, I had a hard time convincing coaches. That's a little bit of a red flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? That's maturity that has to happen within the confines of the organization that he's ultimately responsible for. But so are the adults in that building like, hey, because then what we hear the next 3 or 4 weeks, it's, listen, man, our coach is asking us to do, we got to do, it's demanding. We got to do some hard things. So maybe that part of the process is still playing out. And I'm willing to see that through without eye rolling and saying, oh, my God, it's year 3. Because it's not year 3 with these same players. It's year 3 is year 3 is. So it's the first season without playing, revamping your offense a quarter of the way through the halfway, with a quarter left in the season without your quarterback, or the offensive line changes, or, losing some key guys on defense. All those things matter. And again, the difference between an excuse and an explanation is ownership. You have to own the fact that you need some stability of thought that can allow you to weather the storm when personnel get shaky. You need stability of thought that allows you to weather the storm when personnel get shaky. Because that's the only thing that can get you by. And those, my friend, are the programs that beat you. They just are.
Yeah.
The programs with stability of mind. You can call, some people call it identity. Understanding what you bring to the table from a mental toughness standpoint as a program will take you way further than any talent is. There's still just a little loosey-goosey emotionally, and to like what are they going to settle in?
They're too easily wavered.
It's just. I mean, that's you can talk. This isn't a go get a couple guys in the portal issue. This isn't.
Like Nebraska had the talent to beat Minnesota.
Yeah, they had the talent.
They had the talent to beat Iowa.
They had the talent to beat USC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they had the talent to beat Michigan. The only team that looked more talented than them was Penn State. And I still think they could have been in that game had they done the things that we talked about or that you just talked about.
I mean,
right?
So, like, I told you, he's got some hard decisions to make. Now, he made the first one.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
It was quick.
Yeah. So
I think it was necessary, but it was quick. I was actually encouraged by it, that there wasn't like hand wringing. You just, hey, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, if this were me and this were my off season, I would be very, very, very quiet. I would speak super low, and I would mind my own business. You want this to be the type of off season where you're saying the fan base is like, oh, it's been so quiet and we're not hearing anything, and it like that's the type of off season you need, especially at a place like this where it's gonna be ramped up, right? Because you can't get credit for firing guys that you hired.
Yeah,
right. So at the end of the day, you gotta take a second to pull back and be like, okay, this is what I want. Because you could kind of hear, well, what are we capable of being on offense versus who we need to be? Like those little things are like, do we want to use quarters? Like, and I remember I was talking to a coach who won a state championship and played for a couple more. And we were talking one day about like coaching styles. And he sat me down and he's just talking to me and he's like, I've tried it this way. I tried it that way. This way didn't work. I'm going to try this. Like, this is a guy that is pretty successful. But what that forced me to do is to pay attention to the fine line between conviction and willing to adapt.
Yeah, no, that we've talked about that before. It's really hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
So,
like, hey, this is what I do. This is how I do it.
The good one, like,
the good ones have a very good sense of that.
Yeah.
But
when talent isn't, I like to look at the people that do it without the best of the best. Although I do think, and I've said this, I do think there's something to being able to coach anybody.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes it's hard to coach a lot of good players.
Yeah, not everybody can.
It's hard. But it's equally as hard, or it's a different kind of hard.
Yeah.
To coach
guys that aren't
very good.
So
that tug of war is interesting.
We've talked about this before, and I think it's where I kind of land on the conviction versus adaptation thing. I think you should be convicted in philosophy, not in details. If you're convicted about your philosophy about doing things like, hey, this is who I am as a person, this is what I want my program to be about, I think if you've got that right, you don't really have to waver on it. But the details, I think you have to be a lot more flexible on.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I run this type of defense, or I run this type of offense, or I run this type of whatever. That I think you do need to have some flexibility with.
You just have to give it time. Like the whole woe is me. We need to kind of baby these guys. We need something good to happen, because we've seen this before, right? It's at the tail end of Coach P's career. It was, for lack of the fan base a little too toxic. It's eating at our players. Coach Riley comes in and he was super, hey, let's take care of the guys. It needs some good things to happen. Coach Frost was like, I might compromise a little of this early because we don't have this, and we need to take care of our guys. And I think Coach Rhule's walking this fine line of, this culture of losing is kind of eating at our guys emotionally, and they can read about themselves on social media. Like all the coaches have intimated the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They just have. I mean, I'm not making this up, right?
No.
I mean, everybody in their shape or form has done this protective kind of protective thing of the players.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you just have to. It's just a buck up buttercup kind of thing. Like we can't keep having the.
At some point, you just need to get guys that aren't bothered by it,
regardless of talent level. I'm just telling you, like, start with competitive toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you recruit, that should be number one in the profile, and then it's whomever's overseeing its job to scheme it up.
Yeah, to figure out the rest of it.
Yeah, because there's only a handful of teams in the country that can win doing something in addition to that.
Mm-hmm.
Where, I mean, they're skilled enough where that's not the first thing you talk about.
Sure.
But I listened to Coach Day at the end of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, after they beat Michigan. And he talked about their toughness.
Yeah.
He didn't talk about
there's a reason they had lost 4 in a row.
He didn't talk about their skill.
Yeah.
When I listen to Coach Signetti, he talks about their toughness. The problem is when we say it, we don't really know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We say it like we mean it just means running into things at a high level.
That's generally not what I mean.
That's not really what it is.
Because a lot of guys are willing to do that.
Yeah,
I think
you have to be willing to do hard things every day when you don't feel like it. It doesn't matter what it is.
And I wanted to bring this up from yesterday. We didn't really get to it. I also think there is, and some people call this mental toughness. Maybe you call it competitive stamina. I don't know what people will call it. But there is something about having the ability to focus.
Okay.
It doesn't. There's something about the ability to focus on every single snap. And I call that mental toughness. I think that is as big of a part of this because there's not very many football players because of the nature of the sport that I would point to and be like, not physically tough. Like in general, I think physically tough applies to the vast majority of players at this level. Is that fair?
Yeah.
What gets you is the mental toughness and it's not even like, oh, I don't want to. It's just the ability to stay focused not just every single snap, but every single portion of that snap, right? Like when you talk about, hey, I've got to meet the initial, like let's say I'm playing D-line. I got to meet the initial push with violence, right? I got to get my hands in there. I got to get off the ball quick.
And if I get my ass kicked, I get my ass kicked.
And then I got to go meet at a 45 instead of letting myself get horizontal, right? Like there's, let's say 12 different things over the course of one snap that you have to be focused on.
You've heard me say this.
Every step of the way.
You've heard me say this.
Yeah.
And I mean it. As a guy that's lost a fight or two and won a couple. And it's not, I don't mean like always physically fighting.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean is and I tell this to I just said this to D-Ray at our house Sunday. I said, real toughness is being willing to get your teeth kicked in. 95% of the people you meet aren't.
Sure.
Aren't. And it doesn't mean you're always going to win. You have to be willing to go there.
To just do it.
That's real toughness. So when I watch teams that week in, week out can do hard things over and over and over again, like that's in my opinion toughness. Not always going to win them, but they'll line up and make you snap it again.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just have to allow yourself the opportunity to say, if I can just do that, if I can train in such a way where time doesn't matter,
if I can just do the hard thing longer than the other person,
they'll quit first.
Yeah.
That's what teams do to Nebraska.
That's like when you talk about boxers.
That's what teams do to Nebraska. So you have to be willing to go get in deep waters and see if you can swim. Now, a couple of your guys may drown.
Yeah.
Listen, man, deep water ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
right? Like it's just not.
Yeah.
There's just no other way to say that.
Yeah.
Deep water isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's the part that you have to be able to. That's the part you have to be able to fast forward through. And if you're looking for a solution, now some people just like to, complain for the sake of complaining.
Let's get to Derek real quick. Derek in Alliance. He's coming off a couple heater calls. So let's get to Derek here. What's going on, bud? Derek, what's up, buddy?
Hi, Derek.
I made it out to the game last weekend.
Well, good for you.
So,
I wish you could have messaged me, but you have no way to get a hold of me. You could have been like, hey, I'm right outside. You're wandering around the stadium trying to find your binoculars.
Yeah, could have ran and got your binoculars.
Yeah, I wish somebody else would have. It was freezing. But anyway, what's up, buddy?
So I had some good seats on the east side and was sitting pretty close to the Darian Donovan Jones family.
Mm-hmm.
So
interesting.
That was, pretty fascinating. Everybody is wearing Husker stuff except Darian.
Yeah.
But every time Donovan makes a play, Darian is going more crazy than anybody else.
Yeah. That's a great fam. That's a great fam. Keep going, D. What's up?
Yeah. So I think I want to look big picture a little bit. I know we talked more about strengths and what we should do this year. I think that doing that felt like a 7-game series in the NBA, where by the time you get to game 6 and 7, you have a 6-man rotation and you have 3 different plays that you can run, and because everything else isn't working. And I think some of that was due to injury and some of that was due to just unable to complete a play, especially if you break the season down to before Minnesota to after Minnesota. I think that really changed how they wanted to play offense. And I didn't know if that was fixable in season or not, but I think it should be fixable for next year. One thing that I think you can see for that is I can't remember off the top of my head if we ran a single double move or like a post or some long developing play like in the second half of the year. We just, because it seemed like every time we did that, it would be a sack or at least a scramble out of the pocket sort of thing. So when we really lean into the run game, even when we talk about like the Harburg quarterback year, there was at least 2 or 3 times a game where we could do like a true play action and Jalen Lloyd was running down the field empty, or just wide open. But I never saw that really happen this year because of our lack of pass protection. So that's what I'm looking forward to for next year. I know Ravi doesn't have any kids and is generally against kids, but one of the best things to do for kids is read them books. So I was reading Phantom Tollbooth. You know that book?
I don't, but because you said it, I'm gonna give it a look-see.
All right, it's like a standard like middle school, high school book. Anyway, the character says, "I can't do that. It's too difficult." And the mentor guy says, "Well, unfortunately, the only thing that's easy to do is to be wrong. And usually even that isn't worth the effort." So I feel like that kind of sums up how it looked to play defense, where it's easy to do the thing that says, I'm just going to do my own thing, or I'm not sure what to do, so I'm going to guess, or I'm going to wait and then I'm going to look slow because I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So those are all easy things to do. It's hard to be right every play, which is kind of what's required on defense.
Yeah, that's why I like to solve problems with aggression. Hey, Derek, do me a solid. Before you hang up, Shane, grab Derek's information for me. Can you do that? So, Derek, we'll let you go. We'll get to Pick 6 previews. Give Shane your info if you don't mind. Is that cool?
That sounds good.
All right, buddy. Talk soon.
All right. Good call there from Derek and Alliance. Once again, we're going to get to Brett Ciancia from Pick 6 previews coming up next. Take a quick break here. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
I think I have to give all the credit to my teammates and then also just the support staff that we have here at Nebraska. I obviously was struggling at the beginning of the season.
No, you weren't. That was their narrative, not ours.
Thank you, Danny. But it can, like Danny said, with the media, like there can be a lot of pressure, just a lot of outside noise. So when that was happening, I was putting way too much pressure on myself. And so I really just tried to lean into my teammates and just being the best teammate that I could be, being the best leader that I could be. And then also, like I said, working with the support staff and the coaches were awesome through the entire thing. And I mean, they've been awesome throughout the entire season. So it's just been they made it super easy to bounce back from that because they weren't holding it against me at all.
Speaking of Lexi Rodriguez, she's the all-time digs leader at Nebraska. Now, who did she pass?
She was a coach at, I can't remember what was it? Kayla Banworth?
Not Kayla Banworth, and she's an Olympian.
Wong.
Good job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. She's an Olympian.
Jordan Larson.
Not quite Jordan.
I was going to say Jordan Larson.
Miss Wong.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Now, the owner of Pick Six Previews, Brett Ciancia.
And a pass is picked off. Pick six. Pick six to the checkerboard end zone.
Pick Six Previews, the #1 most accurate college football preview.
Go, big man, go. It's a pick six.
Pick Six Previews with Brett Ciancia.
Pick six. Pick six. Give me all of them.
Here is Brett Ciancia.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Brett Ciancia of Pick Six Previews. Brett, how are we doing this morning?
Hey guys, doing great. Thanks for having me on. It's crazy Thanksgiving weekend there in college football, and now excited to move over to championship season. So thanks for having me on.
Brett, I gotta ask you something right out of the gates, man. Let's put you on the you're East Coast guy, the Yingling hot seat.
Nice call.
Is Alabama in regardless?
I think so. You look at where the committee has placed them so far heading into last week. They get another win in the Iron Bowl, albeit it was a close game until the final 2 minutes. They scored a touchdown to win, but they're 10-2. And a metric that the committee really likes is wins over currently ranked teams. That's why I tweet it out every single week. It's also fluid too, because the top 25 is shifting. The relative values of these wins are shifting throughout the season. I wouldn't call Oregon's win over Penn State a top 5 win, for example. So you look at current top 25, Alabama's the leader in that category with Oklahoma. They both have 4 of them. So in terms of wins over the top 25, they've got the best resume with 4, and they have a shot here against Georgia to get a 5th. Now, I don't think they're going to be penalized too much if they were to lose against Georgia, because they already beat them once. It would now be a split 1-1 against Georgia. It's an additional bonus game. And the precedent is last year we saw SMU not get punished for their ACC title game loss. So I think that, avoiding some kind of a blowout scenario, I think Alabama's in.
Brett, what does the committee, if anything, do with, maybe it's not Ole Miss this year, but this situation where you've got a team that is squarely in the playoff or should squarely be in the playoff, have not just their head coach, but a large amount of their staff leave as well. A lot of people point to the precedent of leaving Florida State out because they lost their quarterback. Obviously, this is a different situation.
Because they're not the last 10, you mean?
Yeah, because they're pretty squarely in, it seems like, in the middle of the field. What do you do, or what, moving forward, what should they do with these types of situations? Because unless the calendar gets fixed, this isn't going to be the last time this happens.
Yeah, great point. And I think that is the key difference, is it's not the final spot in the bracket. If this was number 12 Ole Miss, maybe you're able to edge them out a little bit, but they're squarely in the bracket here. Now, I would like to say, though, I mean, why are they squarely in? We could put the whole Kiffin situation aside. If you look at Ole Miss's resume, I don't know that it's that impressive. I don't know why some of these SEC teams are complete locks to make it. I mean, Ole Miss 11-1. I know it's a nice record, 11-1, but when you dig into it, a lot of close wins over teams that had fired coaches this year. They barely beat Washington State. Only one key ranked win was Oklahoma, and you give them credit for that one, but everyone else has more than that. So it's an interesting resume without the Kiffin drama. Then you throw that into it. There's no head coach, there's no coordinator, no play caller. It's a shame. You don't want to punish the players. That's the most important. You don't want to punish the 90 scholarship players that are in there. They fought for the whole year to get there, so you can't throw them out of the bracket. I don't know, guys. I was hoping that there was a way that they could build this into contracts going forward for coaches. Say that if you do this kind of firing and hiring before the playoff season, that your team will be thrown out. But you can't make Ole Miss an example. It's got to be something forward-looking that they could change. So no good answer for you here. It's a shame the calendar has done this to them. Imagine any other sport this happening, Imagine the NFL. It's like heading into NFL playoffs and the coaches are all moving around and players are moving around. It doesn't make any sense. So leadership has to step up and fix the sport, but also can't make Ole Miss the example. That would really be a shame for those kids.
How about LSU picking up the tab on Kiffin's playoff bonuses?
Yeah, how about that?
What are we?
It's
out of control.
It's like
Jimmy Sexton might be better at his job than any of us. I mean,
ask Penn State about Jimmy Sexton. Penn State is feeling the Jimmy Sexton wrath. They can't get a coach.
Brett, I want to stay with something real quick. Off the radar, we jokingly asked you about him before the season started, and you went through the laundry list of rehabbing 4 and 5 stars. I think he can coach. You paying attention to what's happening in Las Vegas?
Who's this, Dan Mullen?
Yeah, UNLV is 10-2.
Absolutely.
Is Dan Mullen going to get a job?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, he is a Pennsylvania guy. Back in the day, he was actually used to vacation in my Jersey Shore beach town, Sea Isle City, New Jersey. So I know he's definitely familiar with the Penn State.
That palatial setting you had on your Zooms, I was like, man.
Yeah, the rolling hills of Pennsylvania.
Living.
So I think he's got some connections out here. I know Penn State is still waiting, and there were rumors that they were waiting to hire one of these conference title game coaches. I don't know. Maybe it might end up being Dan Mullen, a guy who had turned around Mississippi State back in the day, had them some of their best seasons in school history. Then he went over to Florida, and I thought he actually performed well at Florida. He had them in the conference title game. He had a great offense built with Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts. I thought that was a dynamic team, and they just got a little impatient. Be careful who you fire because you take him out. Look since Florida's been a train wreck. So he resurrects his career there at UNLV, and yeah, this is a good coaching candidate. No one's really talking about. Yeah, you brought him up. I remember early September, back when the Penn State first opened up. So you were first on the Mullen stock, but yeah, it's time he gets a big job again.
It's just interesting to watch because I think, and I'm kind of speculating here. I think Penn State had their guy. They don't have their guy, and if they're looking at a guy that's anybody that Jimmy Sexton represents, he's still not happy over the whole James Franklin thing. So that the Penn State thing has gotten fascinating in a hurry. And then I was talking about this yesterday. I didn't think Penn State was going to get we teased this talking amongst us yesterday, Brett, with Chesney. Chesney decides to go to UCLA.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's not a good job, man. Like, I don't know.
So I just want to ask you, B. Because I was up there. I spent a couple of days up there. And I and Ravi, we went through the James Franklin credentials and the recruiting rankings, and he may have outperformed the actual recruiting rankings outside of that 2021 class that he had. State College is a tough place to hang out, right? It seems like I was kind of in a time warp. I know they're vamping the stadium with reconstruction, but State College is still State College. Post Paterno, you have to be pretty impressed with anybody that can win there, given what they're recruiting to. Do you agree or disagree being so close to that place?
Well, it's a couple things here. I think when you're talking about State College itself, I think that fits in with a lot of the other Big Ten college campuses, college campus towns. It's not a capital city like you find in Madison or Lincoln. It's not a city like you have in Columbus. But some of these college towns, I mean, once you're there, it's kind of just the campus, and they have a great student life. They're always at the top of those rankings for college campus experiences. So I'll disagree with you on State College itself. I think it's a beautiful part of the country. But here's the thing. It's not a State College thing. It's a Pennsylvania on the map kind of thing, because geographically, that's the problem. It's the distance to where all the players are located. And it's something that Nebraska has to go through too, with the so-called 500-mile radius. But Penn State is not in the southeast of the country. It's not in Texas. It's not in Georgia, California, Southern Cal. So it is tough to recruit there. Ohio State and Notre Dame are kind of the exceptions to the rule, that they're able to recruit nationally and bring them in. Penn State, it's a tough place. We don't have all these five-star guys like Ohio and Pennsylvania used to have. I know that the DMV and Virginia have some now, but a lot of the talent has gone south. So yeah, that's going to be a problem long-term for Penn State. It's not so much a State College knock, but it's just looking at the U.S. map and where the high school talent is, and it's far away from Pennsylvania. So I think that Penn Staters might have been quick to rush and fire Franklin. He got a lot of talent in there that I don't know that they're going to be able to continue to load every year. So be careful what you wish for.
Well, and meanwhile, he's flipping the best talent that they had in their class this year, and it seems like a lot of those guys
he's ridiculous.
Are going to Virginia Tech.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with him was he was so good at recruiting the state of Virginia. That was like his unique resume card, and he continued to do that year after year. Trace McSorley was a Virginia guy that he found. He had that state covered. In fact, when Brent Pry was hired at Virginia Tech, this is about 3 years ago, I interviewed him, and he was talking about, because he was a former Penn State staffer with Franklin, he said Penn State was the first people knocking on the door and calling these kids in Virginia. Even before UVA or Virginia Tech, they had the state so well covered. So that was like their home state in recruiting. So now you bring Franklin in there, actually in state. He's going to dominate in recruiting down there. So Penn State, they took away their ace recruiter. Now they have to battle against him for the same players.
Let me ask you this about, and then we can move off of James Franklin and Penn State. Who would they have had to hire in your mind to get a better coach than James Franklin?
Urban Meyer.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody like that. I mean, almost like a dream candidate, someone that's already won a national title or competed for them. Because you think of Franklin, he's had them right there knocking on the door. You wonder if they weren't in the Big Ten East for a decade with a dynasty Ohio State, how many more playoff appearances, how many more Rose Bowls. They just didn't have that automatic loss every year on the schedule. I know Penn Staters don't want to hear that because they say we should beat Ohio State, but that's like saying you should beat Alabama every year. It's just a different tier of a team. They're dynasty level Ohio State. So I don't know what they were looking for here. And apparently you're right that behind the scenes they're getting blacklisted, getting blocked by hiring some of these top candidates because there's no way it should have taken this long. I thought Chesney was a top candidate. You guys asked me about a month ago. I threw his name into the mix, and then he goes and takes UCLA. It doesn't make any sense to me. So something's happening behind the scenes.
I'm not even sure UCLA is a better job than JMU, if I'm being honest. What do you think of the Kalani Sitake potential at Penn State?
I was stunned when I saw that name. I just never made the connection at all. It just doesn't seem like a fit. Yeah. He's the perfect guy for BYU. He understands that state, that culture, the way that he's able to develop players and he knows the whole calendar where they go away for missions, and he's able to manage the roster that way. It's a very unique job. And to see that just 3 years into their conference era, remember they were independents for like 11 years, just in their third year already into this Power 4 landscape, you see how strong they've gotten. Last year, 10-2, this year, 11-1, and now in the conference title game. I think if you're Kalani Sitake, and they have a lot of money too, I'm sure they will match whatever contract. I think you want to continue to build this thing. It's a winnable conference. They have some nice rivalries over there. I don't know. I think he's got a good spot. So I was shocked to see that come up.
What do the numbers say, or what does Brett Ciancia say about, and they're both favored, although North Texas has it tougher against Tulane, JMU win and a North Texas win?
Well, let's put it this way. If they both win, I think they're going to take the AAC team. Tulane is already currently ranked, so if Tulane wins, you got to figure they'd be a lock. If North Texas beats Tulane, I think that'd be a big enough resume boost that they'd probably move into the top 25 and get that bid. I think it's going to be the AAC winner. Now, the issue is if you had to pick one of the three teams, it's tough because the game is like a toss-up. The AAC game is like a 2-point spread, so it's hard to tell which of the AACs are going to win it. But I think the winner of that game goes. And there's still a shot. If you look at the Vegas betting trends of playoff odds, there's still a shot that JMU makes it along with an AAC winner in the case of Duke winning the ACC.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, there's a great shot that if Duke wins and just say they win ugly by 3 or something, there's a chance that the committee goes and takes JMU and North Texas / Tulane over Duke. You look at Duke, they're 7-5. They lost to UConn. They don't have a single ACC win over a winning team. They had the easiest draw somehow, and then they still made the tiebreakers. So that's more an ACC problem. Whoever drafted up the tiebreakers over there, or whoever voted to delete the divisions. We can go on a whole other episode about all that, but the fact that Duke, 8-5, they're not going to make it, I don't think. So there is a shot that we get 2 G5s. I never thought that happened.
Yeah. So let me ask you: is there, let's say Duke wins, what's the argument? Because I feel like the committee would have a really hard time leaving out the ACC, but they probably should. Like in this scenario, they should. Like Duke is clearly the team that doesn't deserve to be in,
unless you have the Nicole Auerbach model where you just change the rules.
Right.
Yeah, right. How about that? Yeah, just throw out the rule book, and whenever we feel like today, that's what we're gonna do. But although that's kind of what the committee has been. Yeah.
Yeah. The committee kind of just does whatever they want.
Oh, don't feed into him, Brett, because he haven't done anything to let me know I could trust him before. I mean, this dude goes in on the committee.
Listen, I would love it if they just went back to the computer rankings for the top 16 because I don't trust those people at all.
I told you don't grow the field anyway.
Or give me the auto bids or whatever. Like give me, 4 here, 3, 2, 2, whatever the numbers are.
No, you wanted this monster.
Because I wanted a bigger field. I did not want.
Wanted this monster.
I did not.
Yeah, there's 2 topics. There's the size of the bracket and then the selection process. So I was always a 4-team guy. I'll even go 6 or 8. But I wanted that to be a BCS selection. I wanted the criteria to be established. I want the rules to be black and white, no opinions, and whatever happens, happens. That's why I think that the tweet about the ACC throwing out the rule book, I think that's why that got so much flack, is because, these teams, they agree to the rules at the beginning of the season. Your path to the title game. It's black and white, and Duke did what they had to do. You can't just throw it out there. So that's why that got a lot of pushback. The committee, that seems to be what the committee does, because they don't actually have a specific formula. They can use whatever talking point they want to bring a team in, to bring a team out, to move them up or down, because I've seen them go back and forth over every category possible. This year head-to-head matters. This year head-to-head doesn't matter. It's other metrics. This year bad losses are bad. And then the next year, good wins, though. Good wins are good. So Ravi's kind of right with this. It's so gray area that they can just pick out whatever category they want that week or that moment to justify, and that's it. Because we're not privy to the behind the scenes dealings with that committee. So that you're going to find that here this week with tonight with Notre Dame, Miami. I'm still holding out hope that some common sense prevails, where if it's really head to head, 2 teams left for one spot, the team that beat the other team on the field, I hope they'd pick. But we'll see what happens. There's so many other factors at play.
You know what they could do to earn my trust? Kick Ole Miss out to stay consistent with their, hey, if you lose people, you're not the team that you were on your resume.
It's apples to oranges with FSU, though.
Still both fruit. And then put Miami and Notre Dame both in, and then give me 2 group of 5s in and get Duke out of there. Then I could maybe start to trust them.
So if I'm Cristobal in Miami, what am I cheering for, Brett?
Wow. Well, you're definitely cheering for Texas Tech to blow BYU off the map. You want a BYU blowout loss.
It's 13.
Yeah, and I think you're going to get that, but that's one of the criteria, because if BYU wins outright, that's a bid steal, and I think Texas Tech's resume would be stronger than both Notre Dame, Miami, all those bubble teams. So first off, you need BYU to lose and lose big. Throw them out of the discussion. Get them out of that logjam of teams. Make it more of a direct comparison between Miami and Notre Dame.
What
So
if Georgia now hammers Bama?
If Georgia hammers Bama, yeah. Or conversely, they might actually be cheering for Bama to beat Georgia pretty good. You want to get all the surrounding teams, all the noise out of there, so that you really can force a direct comparison between just 2 teams, Miami, Notre Dame. Make them make that decision. Don't give them other teams to hide around and shift around the teams. Put wedge Alabama and Vandy and BYU between the 2 teams, Miami, Notre Dame. You want them to have to make the clear black and white decision between 2 teams. And I don't think, if it comes down to that, I think they have to go Miami. So you're wanting BYU to get thrown out of the mix. You're wanting maybe Bama to win outright, so they go so high up that they're not even in this discussion. So that's what I think the Miami fans are looking for.
So let's talk about Texas here for a second, because in the grand SEC Ponzi scheme of it all, Texas somehow with their 3 losses thinks that they have an argument to be in the college football playoff. I'm not crazy here, right? No one's holding Ohio State against him. They're holding Florida against them, right? You got waxed by a bad Florida team, and then you got your head beat in late against Georgia. This has nothing to do with Ohio State.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, had they won against Ohio State, they'd be ranked higher, yes. But really, when you look at Texas, they have not had margins of victory, because once you open up it to a loss or 2, you look at the Notre Dames and Miamis of the world, that's why they're being considered way ahead of, say, a Virginia who's 10-2. It's margin of victory. It's quality wins. So when you look at Texas, they needed their special teams to bail them out a couple weeks in a row. The Kentucky game was ridiculous. I mean, they were outgained by 300 yards. They probably should have lost that one to a really poor Kentucky team. Vanderbilt, they won by 3, although that was a little bit more.
Who did they get the late punt return touchdown against? Was this Mississippi State?
Oklahoma? Yeah, it was back-to-back. Oklahoma and Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky was. Yeah.
And so for most of the season, even the non-conference, they weren't blowing out UTEP like they should have. I mean, yeah, they did not have the big margins of victory that you'd want out of a 2-loss team or 3-loss team to almost make up for those losses. So there's a lot more at play here. They're not a playoff team. They're not a top 12 team. I know that they played well against A&M, but that's why, they're separate criteria. The SEC losses apparently don't count, guys. You forgot one of the key rules here. SEC losses don't count. August losses don't count. That's exhibition season somehow. So it's crazy.
That's because a 4-win Florida team should still be like a top 25 team in the country, right? I mean, that's
right.
That's what we're talking. That's so hard in that conference that even a 4-win team is like, oh man, that's a great quality loss for Texas there. Here's the other thing that Texas fails to mention in this whole grand scheme of it all. You know why they could schedule Ohio State? Because they don't play 9 conference games.
Yeah, that's really. I wish people talked about that more because we have this log jam.
That's all I've ever talked about. Before
Yeah,
this
I'm
thing
glad.
got started because if without conference uniformity, you were always going to get this. You expanded too quickly without everybody playing by the same rules. I am totally. Nobody would care because they don't like me anyway. I'm dying on that hill.
No, I'm glad you're doing it. Yeah. Because just think of the numbers here. Just say they all had to play each other one more time. Just say you had this week, you had Ole Miss versus Georgia or Ole Miss versus A&M. Like these 1-loss and 2-loss teams, it's just numbers. They're going to now become 2-loss and 3-loss teams. Now they're outside of the bubble. Now you don't have this big Miami Notre Dame crisis. Conversely, just say maybe the SEC stayed at 8. If the Big Ten were to remove a game, let's pretend that USC didn't lose to Oregon. Now they're 10-2. Now they're a quality playoff resume team. So it's just crazy. I wonder why we're giving so much slack to the SEC. Look at A&M's resume. Look at Ole Miss's resume. Are they really that impressive? I know they have a 1 in the loss column, but they somehow dodged all the best teams in their leagues. So I don't know. I mean, I wish we could really evaluate them on the full season and look more than just the loss column because I really think that Notre Dame and Miami are 2 of the best teams in the country. It'd be a shame if one or both are left out.
Brett, let me ask you this because they're both tight lines. Who's more likely to pull off the upset, even though both are capable? Indiana or Bama?
I think Bama. Bama, we've already seen it. They did beat Georgia already. They went in and ended Georgia's all-time winningest streak in between the hedges. And I see that one really as a toss-up. I see that 50-50 could go either way. I have it by Georgia by a point, less than a point even. So neutral site. I could see that going either way. The Ohio State thing is I think you have a really complete team, a dominant team, a dynasty-level team. Defense is the best in the country. The offense has probably the best receiver in the country, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, a dynamic running back with Bo Jackson, great offensive line. I just cannot find a single weakness with Ohio State. So until proven otherwise, I'm going to go with them. And I think some of the power ratings and some of Vegas might be underrating them because they haven't played a full game most of the year. If you look at their snap count and the way that they were benching their players in the second half, it's kind of smart by Ryan Day. His team is so well rested. It's like they played a 9-game season when you look at the stat count or the snap count. It's crazy. So anyway, they weren't running up the score enough to maybe increase their power ratings like some other teams. So I think they're better than the record show. Not the record. Sorry, better than their Vegas line would show. They're like 10-1 against the spread this year. It's unbelievable. So I'll go Ohio State to win and cover. I'm going to go with Bama as your more likely upset.
No way Cignetti hasn't won enough to avoid any backlash if they get blown out, right?
Oh, he's the coach of the year, I think. I mean, the way that he has been able to turn Indiana, we forget it's such a short-term memory sport that Indiana is the losingest program in college football history. I mean, they were the punching bag for 50 years, 100 years. They were the Big Ten laughingstock forever. So for him to overnight come in, not just this year, but last year, overnight and take a bunch of JMU players and almost take over the league last year, 11-1, blowouts almost every week. This year, 12-0, the best season of all time. It's unbelievable what he has done. It's also now it's ruined it for other coaches too, and they take over programs. They're always going to be compared back to Cignetti. Well, hey, why do you need a third year? Cignetti needed 3 weeks. So it's he has now set the standard for modern college football takeovers. And so this game won't define his legacy. I think he's already defined it.
That is our guy, Brett Ciancia, Pick Six Previews. Great stuff this morning. Appreciate you letting us throw all these hypotheticals and what ifs at you.
It's that time of year, guys.
Yeah, we don't have good sense, B. Appreciate it.
We appreciate you hanging out. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the conference title game weekend.
Thanks, buddy.
That is Brett Ciancia from Pick Six Previews. Let's take a quick break here.
Okay.
Take a little, just take a little breather.
No.
A little timeout.
No. Don't put you in timeout.
Don't put me in timeout. What'd I do? I've been nice this morning.
Relatively speaking,
See?
compared to what the chat is doing, like what in the world?
There's some things I want to say that I'm probably not gonna. We're just leave it at that.
Weird group, man.
That's DB. I'm Ravi. We will be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
I didn't notice anything. I mean, you might have seen things on TV that I didn't see. I thought like on Emmett's run, I thought there were huge blocks. There were just a couple of miscommunications, right? Like there's a couple times we're running option routes and like, guy sits it down and I had no concerns with effort or anything like that. What I did see was 3 or 4, times we had, a 50-50 ball and we did, unfortunately we didn't come down with it. Their kid, even at the end, made a great catch for it. But I think our receivers have played well all year. We get in the game, we got a young quarterback, he pulls his hamstring and kind of limited maybe some of their opportunities. And also Emmett was, in a disappointing day, I don't know the right word. It was an amazing effort by him. That was something that, I'll probably remember for a long time, just how hard he played and how well he played. And, I'm just trying to think, Sam, I'm sorry. I don't remember feeling like, hey, they're not playing hard or anything like that.
Yeah, it is what it is, Justin. There's nothing that anybody can do about this right now. It's out of everybody's control. I just talked about it in the locker room. We lost a guy that helped win a lot of games for us last year with Connor, and we're still waiting on Oogie and Leo to get back healthy as well. I thought Jared Garcia gave us as good a stretch as he's been all year. We actually had him guard the 5 a little bit, and I liked the way it looked when he was out there with BK. But what was he, plus 17 in his 10 minutes, and he had 5 big defensive rebounds for us. So this is a growth game for Jared. Kendall's going to have to give us minutes moving forward as well. It's good to see him get out there on the floor in that first half. So it's just that next man up mentality. That's what you have to have. And again, I'm confident our guys are going to bounce back with good effort. It's a good wake up call. I don't know what you call this for our guys, but we need to bounce back with great effort and preparation, obviously, for a big game coming up next week.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you this is a time of year you end up spending a lot of money, whether it's holiday gifts, whether it's food, decor, whatever it is. But with Centris, you can also save money while you spend it with their Roundup program. Every time you make a purchase with their Centris Visa debit card, it gets rounded up to the nearest whole dollar. That amount gets transferred from your checking to your savings. So even while you're having to spend money during the holidays, they're helping you save as well. It's a simple way to grow your savings through the season. Learn more at about Centris Roundup at centrisfcu.org. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. DB, we got to take a little medicine here for a second. We got to take a little bit of medicine.
Huh?
Yeah.
Ravi?
Rico, you want to go ahead and throw up the final results on the quarterback draft?
Oh, it's over?
Yeah, it's over.
Oh, man.
So unfortunately, Team Raustin won.
Is it over now?
You didn't end up in last.
Can't believe
You almost chased down Team KB.
No.
Almost. Unfortunately, Team Raustin did win. They prevailed. TK in second.
I like how they've got the whole.
And they give themselves crowns and a trophy.
Yeah.
Those
two.
No
wonder Austin showed up to work.
Yeah, he knew he had to take his victory lap here. So, congratulations to Team Raustin. Again, I still think we should divide the points in two since there's two of them, and that's the only team that had two. So, technically, they are dramatically in last place with 149 points each. TK won, and I am in second. So there you go.
I love finishing the season. Sam Levitt hurt.
Sam Levitt did hurt.
Here shortly. Nico Yamaliava.
But you didn't even like. You picked him to spite me.
And he was last. Last as my point getter. And Jackson Arnold, who was benched.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the three in last place, I guess, the last three places, they're relatively close.
They are relatively close.
You first loser?
I don't know if
first
that
loser guy.
I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, what's your point over there, Liquid?
I will
I'm
say,
just trying to help you out, man.
We love our guy Tim. He had a rough go. He had a rough go of things.
Yeah, this isn't good
because none of those guys got. I mean, Mateer was hurt for a couple weeks, but none of those guys hasn't had a season-ending injury.
No, I know.
Nussmeier got benched. Lagway was bad and got benched. That's a tough go for our guy.
The whole Nussmeier thing is
wild.
But not really.
It's wild from the place that he was talked about to start to where he ended up. I know you were like, hey, we sure about Nussmeier? But you didn't think he was getting benched.
No, I just didn't think he was very good.
You didn't think like number one overall pick, which is what some people were talking about. But you weren't like, yeah, I don't think he's going to be the starter at the end of the year.
That was wild. Can I go back to something that Brett talked about?
Yeah, we're done with your guys' victory lap.
Because you know where I'm not going to take medicine?
Where?
Is the playoff expansion thing.
No, I mean, so I do agree with him that there's two different conversations there.
Just say, DB, you were spot on. All your fears,
you made some good points.
Yeah.
So I agree with you that they needed to get all their ducks in a row before expansion. I agree with that.
Nothing was wrong with 8.
I also don't have a problem with 8. 12 is a number that never made sense to me.
Because I told you you'd be arguing about 9, 10, 11, 12?
Well, I mean, you're going to argue about the last 3 spots no matter what, no matter how many people are there, right?
Do you want the changing of the dress code, inviting more people to the party analogy again?
No, I got that one. We're good. I want.
Oh, you don't like. I just want to see more college football. I was like, that's fine. I want to see who the best team is.
I think 8 allows for that, or would have allowed for that, because I do think there's years where you can make an argument that 5, 6, 7, 8 are pretty close to as good as 3, 4. I think. You seem to disagree. That's fine. But before you do,
I mean, the games haven't played out that way.
Before you do anything, you do need to be like, hey, let's all play the same number of conference games. Let's all do the same thing. Let's all have the same set of rules. It'd be like if the NFC East was like, hey, we're actually not playing any other divisions this year. So you guys figure that out, but we're just going to play each other 4 times and then we're done.
Call it good.
Like that would be, no one would be okay with that. The rest of the league would be like, hey, stop doing that. That doesn't count. Yeah. You don't get to be a part of this anymore. Yeah. Like it's a very Wild Westy thing to do, to just be like, well, you guys are playing 8. I guess you guys could play like 4 conference games if you want. Everybody else is going to play 9. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So you were right there.
It's just crazy.
I'm still pro expansion.
Dumb. It just is.
I'm pro expansion because I enjoy it and I'm largely entertained by it. I understand from a football standpoint, it's not great. And I also agree with you that if you were going to expand, you should have not just done it haphazardly and been like, whatever, we'll figure it out. Like, that was all very, very stupid on their part. And I think they continue to be stupid with how they go about their.
You love the committee.
Stop it. That's not true.
Too strong of a word?
Too inaccurate of a statement. It's the exact opposite.
Oh, maybe that.
Oh, yeah, shoot.
Semantics.
I would
potato.
I would be much happier if they used the BCS rankings and just did the 12 teams. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I would be totally fine with that. I think introducing the human element here is the problem in terms of the selection process.
So, again, auto qualifiers would have been fine if everybody was playing by the same rules.
Exactly. Like, I am pro an auto qualifier model, but everyone has to get on the same page first.
Headley, that's just never going to happen.
It is. To be fair, that is to the point you're talking about, though. Notre Dame plays by their entirely own set of rules.
They get to do what they want.
Yeah. And it is too lucrative.
But so does the SEC. So why are we, I mean.
No, listen, if you're mad at Notre Dame, you have to be mad at the SEC. If you're mad at the SEC, you have to be mad at Notre Dame. By the way, the ACC also only plays 8, but nobody cares.
I will say
but it screwed them this year.
I'll be curious to see what happens now that the SEC goes to the 9th conference game.
Yeah, I will also, because I think
way back when I asked the question, we're willing to concede getting a 5th team in to the playoffs versus keeping said inventory in your conference. How much is that decision worth?
A lot.
Okay. Because apparently they don't mind keeping the inventory now in-house.
That's the thing, is there was no world, I didn't think, that one extra playoff team could make up for the extra inventory of, 16 extra SEC conference games? Like, that's a huge chunk of games. Yeah. One extra playoff team wasn't going to match financially. Just the way it's currently set up, that wasn't going to make any sense. Now that they're providing an extra, I don't know what the number is, 10% of inventory for their TV partners.
That's a good point, Headley.
That's so valuable.
Yeah, I'm not going to I almost never argue with him because he's kind of funny and we spoil him.
Who, Headley?
Yes.
I like Headley.
Me too. I don't even know if I know. That's the problem with these people.
Yeah.
Although some guys I do know.
I like what I know about him from the chat.
No, I don't think UConn gets in at 10-2, but.
And here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about Notre Dame is they're so powerful. They actually have it written into the rules, special exemptions for them. That's the difference between UConn and Notre Dame. That's why BYU joined a conference.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, Mac Brown wasn't talking about Texas when he said they're a powerful player. He was talking about Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a powerful player. He said Texas.
Yeah.
No, he
Texas is a powerful player.
Wow.
That was on the spot. Way to go, Shane. You just had that all queued up.
What are you doing listening, first of all?
You're going to move to France, and you're going to have to speak French.
Look, this dude's actually listening.
Yeah.
I'd like to refer to this whole thing from start to finish.
Is that Kurt?
No, that was Bobby Knight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Robert Montgomery.
Yeah. Not a huge fan.
I don't speak ill of the dead.
I don't speak well of the ill.
Oh, well. It's very, very quick.
You like that one, or they were the both fruit one better?
That was good too. I'm more mortified. Not what's coming out of your mouth, but what's going in. How many goldfish are we on, Zoe?
We're on. So this is the second bag. Just a little bag, not a big one.
Did you eat the Lil Debbie Christmas. Wait, is it little? I always say Lil. It's not.
It's
Those
little.
are the rappers.
Yeah.
It's little.
It's not like John. It's Debbie.
Did you eat the second Christmas tree yesterday?
Later. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I think before tennis, if I remember right.
Was it frozen because it was in the car?
It was cold. Yeah, it was cold.
You eat those things without milk?
Yeah. And I don't dip them in it. I don't really dip things in milk.
No, it's not. You don't have to be a dipper.
Oh, you just drinking milk?
Yeah.
No, I just wash it out with my Diet Coke.
Dude, I
like an adult.
I haven't had and I'm a milk guy.
I like milk.
I love milk.
Yeah.
I haven't had milk in 3 months.
Really?
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I like milk. I used to, when I was a kid, I drank a ton of milk.
I probably should have a glass of milk.
Yeah, do it. It's good. It's got protein. It's good for you.
And I buy the same milk every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I bet Micah goes through it.
He crushes milk.
Yeah. I kind of got off of the milk thing because I drank so many protein shakes for so long that I was like, I'm kind of okay for a while.
I have no good reason.
Yeah.
I have no good reason.
Just not.
Because I love milk, and I think it is a tremendous thirst quencher.
Yeah.
Even though I drink skim.
Yeah, I usually drink
My
skim.
mom makes fun of me.
Listen.
It's like white water.
Like the rapids?
Sure.
It's also a white activity.
Never been on.
Just
a raging
watch out for the
river.
peaks. You'll be fine.
She's so stupid. So dumb.
Travis says real milk is so gross. You mean like whole? Is that what you mean by real milk, Travis?
Or like straight from the cow?
Or do you
what?
mean or you only drink like almond milk?
Almond milk is
I
good.
don't drink any of those.
I've tried several of them. They're fine. I wouldn't drink them just out of a glass. Like I've used them to mix a protein shake or something if I was trying to cut calories, but I would never just drink almond milk out of a glass. That's weird. I'm not doing that. The consistency is not right.
Yeah, you know how I hate to waste money.
Mm-hmm.
I wasted $6
on what? Oh no, fast food.
Oh no, no. I did waste some too there.
Did you?
I don't know if I was not in my right frame of mind. I don't know. I was at the grocery store.
Okay.
And the end cap thing got me. And there were fruit pies, hand pies.
Oh, fruit pies are so good.
And they had a couple new flavors.
I don't experiment. I stick with apple.
And it was like 6 for $6.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought 6.
You didn't eat any of them?
Not a one.
Are they bad now?
It was like 3 weeks ago, so I'm not going there.
Wait, hold on.
What?
So the processed pre-packaged fruit pies in we're talking about the paper wrapper ones, right?
Yeah, they're in like a cardboard little
Yeah.
box, like JJ's.
Dude, check the thing on them. They're probably fine. Those things are so processed.
Here's the thing.
You'll leave meat out on a counter overnight, but you won't eat a pre-packaged thing? What are we doing?
I don't even think that warranted a timeout.
Yeah.
Why did you call timeout?
Because you won't eat processed food, which is literally designed to last for however long after a certain amount of time. But the meat, which goes bad so fast.
I feel like we're being real judgmental here.
Sorry. What was the thought process behind?
Because
the
a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And it's always something with me, right? The trigger.
Okay.
Like the crazy hygiene is from the poop smell on the plane when I was 21 years old.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
It shaped me.
Yeah.
I have pulled a pie apart and the goo was more gluey than fruit filly.
Okay.
So I am not interested in seeing that again. So
was that particular pie old or was it just a bad batch?
It didn't pull. It just went, and I was like, "Oh,
it's not great.
I'm off of these."
Okay.
And I shouldn't. They're like 52 grams of carbs in one pie.
Yeah, they're aggressive.
So I'm like,
I only use them for low blood sugars when I'm in a bad way.
Sometimes it's so tempting.
Mm-hmm. They're good though.
To want to trade what ails you for the way you can eat, but I don't want what ails you because I've seen people have to manage diabetes.
Yeah, you don't want what comes with it.
But your eating is like I'm not mad that you're eating Little Debbie's. I'm probably more mad that I can't because if I could eat a box of Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies, I could eat the whole thing and not bat an eye.
So here's the difference.
As Mike Jernigan would say, octagon cakes. I could eat zebra cakes.
Oh, zebra cakes are so
the
good.
cows come home.
See, that's like the Christmas trees are just better versions of zebra cakes.
I don't know, man. What's with the green? Does it have a flavor?
No,
or is it just regular?
It's just food coloring.
Okay.
It tastes mostly. So I think it tastes almost exactly like a zebra cake. I think the cake is a little bit better consistency, like the actual like sponginess.
That's deep.
Listen, I know my stuff. Listen, here's the thing. Here's
I
the
used
difference.
to buy the double-decker oatmeal cream pies.
Oh, the oatmeal cream pies are phenomenal.
It's one of the best.
Yeah, one of the best things.
I mean, it's right up there with like tallow on my bone-in ribeye.
I wasn't sure where you were going there. So
I can't stand you.
Here's the difference: is
Eric, that doesn't happen, buddy.
It becomes.
I'm just saying, Eric, you're my dude, but
it becomes significantly less fun when if you don't eat the whole package, you die. That's where the trade-off is. I mean, you've seen me some of these mornings after, and you're like, "What happened to you?" And I go, "Rough night, bud."
Well, the worst one is the one you're
College World
forgetting.
Series.
That was the worst.
Oh, I didn't forget. I don't forget any of them.
That's the worst one I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I was walking to the parking lot, traumatized from the slowdown.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, is this going to be a day-to-day thing?" That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'm like, "So is this an any moment kind of thing?"
Yeah, that's the life. It gets away from, like.
I don't want Little Debbie's that bad.
Honestly, like if it gets away from you one day, like that's what the day is like, and it sucks. It's just out there sometimes, you know.
Nope.
Yeah, like you know, you got.
I saw a shirt. I think either Jernigan or Brett sent it to me.
Yeah,
it's the guy. It's the old guy that had the goatee that talked about diabetes.
Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, and it's the Little Debbie picture.
Is it?
Yeah. And underneath the circle, I may have it. And I'm like, is this funny? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would get you the T-shirt. Would you wear it?
I don't wear a lot of like graphic tees in general, but I wouldn't be like mad at you.
No.
There's certain people where it's like, hey, like you can make joke. I mean, it's like anybody. Like,
how ugly is my screensaver?
It's a good screensaver.
You guys like my screensaver? That is.
I don't know if they can see it.
They don't have to.
A little zoomed out here, but
it's Verzal's dumb smile, stupid T-shirt. Would you wear it?
If it meant a lot to you that I would wear it, I'd wear it once.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'd maybe wear.
We ain't getting any sentimental value here.
I maybe like would wear it to like bed or something like, but I don't like wear a lot of graphic T-shirts.
Just don't care.
All right,
the
well,
whole bed thing.
That's about the only place I'll wear just like random T-shirts, you know.
Yeah. Too much.
Otherwise, you're just out here, right?
I almost felt vulnerable and told you I slept in sweatpants for the first time in like 30 years. And I was miserable.
Did you have your window open?
Yeah, but I'm definitely I'm a shorts guy.
Me too. Yeah, I do shorts.
I'm like, God, this sucks. Was I lazy?
Were you cold?
No, it might have been the 85 things of Lalo, but who knows?
Might be the window open when it's 11 degrees overnight.
Downstairs too, so yeah, whatever. I think it was more the Lalo. give or take 80.
give or take like 4 or 5.
You ever go back in the morning and you're like, huh, that's interesting. How did it get way down there?
Dude, my wife still
There's
talks.
only a corner of a swallow.
My wife still talks about your 50th birthday party and what you did to that bottle of tequila. She's like traumatized by it.
Oh, shit. Like, yeah.
She's like, how did it go so fast?
Well, first of all, there's not enough of it. And second of all,
I tried to remind her that you were sharing. You were like, hey, this is really good taste. So like you gave some to a bunch of different people.
And what's the difference? I don't even want to hear it. Never mind.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna get hammered. It's fine. Like, you like some people like 12 ounces of vodka seltzer. I may like just 12 ounces of tequila. What's the difference? It goes fast.
There's a
knock it off.
Alcohol by volume is the difference.
I think that's the most made up thing I've ever heard.
It's not. It's just science.
You can drink 6 vodka seltzers. I can drink 6 12-ounce tequila on the rock.
It's not a volume of the stomach issue. It's the volume of the alcohol per. It's fine. It's fine.
Potato to potato. I don't want to get into the science of it.
It's fine. It's not a science show.
Yeah, I just get a glass with ice. It goes fast.
No, I get it. There was, this particular evening, there was no ice, but that's okay.
I don't even know why you guys care about ABV.
I don't necessarily, but if you ask what the difference is, that's the difference.
Again, just water it down with more
water. You do understand to water something down.
Water. Again, if you want to prolong the day, just add the seltzer. It works. I don't care what you say.
Impeccable logic. Just unbeatable. Let's take a break here. I do want to get into a little bit of what characteristics you're looking for in the next defensive coordinator.
Oh, I got a couple guys I like.
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
I have one in particular.
I got one I want real bad. I don't know if it's realistic or not.
Interesting.
But there is one that I like. If they hired, this is probably me doing too much. This is probably me fanning too fan. But
I'm a total fanboy of my guy.
If they hired this guy, it would change how I felt about the offseason. Like it really would. We'll see if we have any of the same guys on the list.
I hope not. I don't want to agree with you.
I know you hate agreeing with me. It makes you mad.
I think you're wrong about the ABV thing.
Go talk to a scientist. Let's go find somebody that knows math. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
I think I have to give all the credit to my teammates and then also just the support staff that we have here at Nebraska. I obviously was struggling at the beginning of the season.
No, you weren't. That was their narrative, not ours.
Thank you, Danny. But it can, like Danny said, with the media, like there can be a lot of pressure, just a lot of outside noise. So when that was happening, I was putting way too much pressure on myself. And so I really just tried to lean into my teammates and just being the best teammate that I could be, being the best leader that I could be. And then also, like I said, working with the support staff and the coaches were awesome through the entire thing. And I mean, they've been awesome throughout the entire season. So it's just been they made it super easy to bounce back from that because they weren't holding it against me at all.
Speaking of Lexi Rodriguez, she's the all-time digs leader at Nebraska. Now, who did she pass?
She was a coach at, I can't remember what was it? Kayla Banworth?
Not Kayla Banworth, and she's an Olympian. Wong. Good job.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. She's an Olympian.
Jordan Larson.
Not quite Jordan.
I was going to say Jordan Larson.
Miss Wong.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Don't forget, it's Tuesday. That means kids eat free with the purchase of an adult entree here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, either location, La Vista or Gretna. So come on out. Make sure you hang out. Bring the kiddos with you if you got them, and get a
I
little.
would stop out and say hi, but I will be in Lincoln.
Oh yeah, you got a big red wrap up.
I do.
There you go. So
it's a sensational week.
Let's say you got wrap up. You got Nebraska City. You got Holy Ghost.
Oh yeah, just bring it on.
I know how much you love public appearances. It's going to be great,
especially after L's.
That's probably how. It's probably how I feel doing post game shows after L's. Not my favorite.
Go ahead and pass.
All right, let's get into the DC thing a little bit here with who or what we want out of the hire. So let's start with what before we get to the who. What are you looking for? Like check marks where you say, hey, this would make it a good hire.
I want kind of an infectious personality.
Okay.
And
like an Eckler type?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want like more about aggression than scheme. So
teach violence.
Yeah, I want guys I want that guy.
You want guys that are, I know people aren't gonna like that, act a little bit more like the offensive line in terms of demeanor.
Yeah. You
like that they're mean-spirited. However you feel about whatever else, you like where their headspace is at.
Yeah.
So you want guys like that on defense.
100%. Because I've seen a couple of good ones, and I'll just go back to recent years in taking some visits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Clark Lee or Coach Parker,
mm-hmm.
or Tressel. It starts with temperament.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what you say about stopping the run, right? If it's about
it just starts with temperament.
If it's about attitude and
and
effort to stop the run, then temperament from the way down is a big part of that.
This has to be kind of infectious.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I would start.
I think I want some experience. I would like somebody that's got a track record.
Okay.
And then I would, and Jack brought this up, but I think it's a good point.
Golden voice?
Yep. I would like somebody that I don't feel like their defense is overly complicated to get guys on the field.
Okay.
I think that's been a struggle with Nebraska across various coaching staffs, where it seems like there's better players that can't get on the field because either they don't understand some of the intricacies of the defense or whatever. And I look at better programs that have been better than Nebraska over the last 10 or so years, and I say, hey, they seem to get young guys on the field a lot, even guys that aren't 5 stars. And so I ask myself, well, what's the difference? And the only thing I can come to is they make it easier for those guys to get on the field. So I would like experience, and I'd like a guy that makes it easy for your best athletes to get on the field. That's all I'm really looking for, I think, right? I would love somebody who's got like a history of development and things like that as well, but I think that more falls on position coaches than anything else. So I don't know how much, but experience doing this at a power conference level and the ability to get your best athletes on the field. Those would be my 2 things where, like, if you can do those things, I would feel pretty good about that. And I have a name that I think checks both boxes. And like I said, I think it would change how I feel about the offseason. I think it would do that for a lot of people too. You ready?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's realistic or not. Jim Leonhard.
I have seen that name floated.
That would be, I think, a 100% home run hire.
I think you're 100% spot on because he was
so good at this.
So it was early. It's probably 2 or second or third. He was up there in Caleb's initial offers.
Yeah, when he was at Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, he was the coach that offered.
And that was part of the reason Wisconsin was in it, right? Is he liked Jim Leonhard quite a bit?
Yep.
And his track record speaks for itself.
I agree.
He's incredible at this.
So you're willing to, because I heard the I told you so guys were telling me that the guys with NFL pedigree, the guys that are coming from the NFL, even though they've dabbled in college, like there's concern, right? That was the.
I would say more that Jim Leonard has
coached enough in college where.
Yeah, I think he's dabbled in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's how I would put it.
But coached in college.
Yes, but he's to me, I look at him as like that is a college defensive coordinator, probably a college head coach someday if that's what he wants.
Coach Leonard is not who I was thinking of. I like the
good hire though, right?
I like his demeanor. I like how he I think I know enough about him.
Yeah. So
you're probably different on the recruiting trail, but clearly we got a chance to.
Yeah.
I mean, Caleb went up to that Wisconsin-Illinois game, and I think Illinois may have beat their head in on that one. But that was like the second time of 3 that he had been up there. I like Leonard's style, and I think you're spot on with how he likes to play.
Yeah.
He played defensive back, so I can always appreciate that.
Played defensive back, and honestly, it doesn't have to be Big Ten experience, but the fact that he has Big Ten experience and has a history of defenses that work in this league, it matters a lot to me. Like that is, he's 1A on my list.
Huh.
Who was the name you're thinking of?
Like people that have listened to me for years. Honestly, if anybody in the chat said this, people that have listened to me for years know I have a weird affinity for this guy.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm quick scrolling. I can't read. I am probably the only guy in the state of Nebraska that is an avid honk for Justin Wilcox.
That was another name that so QBH just now, as you were saying that, put it in the chat.
If you've listened to me since as long as I've been doing this.
Also would be a great hire.
I am a huge Justin Wilcox guy.
I think it would be a great hire. So
I thought he was way better than they gave him credit for at Cal.
I agree.
And this just lets you, like, I'm a nerd when it comes to Wilcox. And so when he Sark got him at Washington and SC. And SC, like Holt got fired. Nick Holt got fired, like it was quick. It was a quick turnaround. Wilcox was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And he followed Sark. And I like Sark. You know I like Sark.
Yeah.
Like I like Sark.
Yeah.
So
more than I do.
Yeah, and I get his temperament isn't for everybody, but it's I think it works in college football today.
I also think
he handles NIL and
mostly underperformed with the rosters he's had, but
he's prickly. There's a lot. You're right. Sark's more about what surrounds him.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I don't know if that makes him
great.
He's
elite offensive mind. I don't know what he is.
I like what he brings to the table. So, and I think his first year or that SC year, I think they were top 50 in scoring.
Yeah, right around there, I think.
He gave up. It was 400 yards or less, which then in the Pac-12
was a pretty solid number.
I'll take it. But what I really liked was when Chris took him at
Wisconsin.
At Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And they were elite. So that was like 16 maybe.
Yeah, it was 2016. It was right before Leonard, I think.
And he was fantastic. I liked the way that they played. They were top 10 in scoring defense. He's familiar with the Big Ten. And so when he got to Cal, I just kept following because it was one of my sister's last years at Cal. She was on campus at Berkeley before she went to San Francisco to be a Lady Don. I just followed him.
Yeah.
And I also joked that, when they were courting Marty and he was being wooed to Cal, and I was like, shoot, man. It's like, I feel like Rivera's kind of undermining Wilcox. Like, does Rivera want to be the head coach out there? Like, it just was this weird dynamic getting behind the scenes of the whole Cal deal. So I further developed an appreciation for Wilcox.
Mm-hmm.
He would be my guy right now.
I would be thrilled with that hire. I tend to believe, so there's two other names that I have been thinking about. One is a guy that I think was involved last year, and I think if they weren't in the playoff, he would have gotten the job, and that's Scott Simons at SMU.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. I don't know.
I mean, I could be wrong. That's the sense that I get.
I hear that a lot. I don't either.
I don't have a
strong opinion.
I don't have a strong opinion about him as a defensive coordinator. I know they've had good defenses down there. I don't have as big of a track record to be like, oh, I really like him, or I don't. I don't have a strong opinion about his ability, but I think that's a name that's probably in play. The other name that I think would be really interesting, if he wants to do this right now, is Mark Stoops. He was really, really good at Florida State before he took the Kentucky job. That's been a while now, but he's a guy who I think has a really good sense of how to play a hyper-aggressive defense that kind of has the demeanor you're talking about. That's a guy I would be interested in.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see.
I don't know if it's what he wants to do right now.
Stoops does without, I mean, losing Morrow and
sure, yeah,
like some of the recruiters he lost the last couple of years at Kentucky, like it was hard for him to replace.
Yeah.
So maybe just as a coordinator, he doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it fits. I just don't know enough. I don't know if it fits my infectious personality thing, because I don't know.
I don't either.
It doesn't really that doesn't really register with me. But like I said, if I had my druthers, I probably take Wilcox. I do think it's interesting. Like, this bowl game is, this the notion or the narrative like Snow is some overarching shadow.
Yeah.
You got to see Coach Snow work. It's not even really how he operates.
Yeah.
He's not a, hey, you need to do this, do it guy.
Yeah.
He's not. He's more of a, hey, what do you need me to do? Or, hey, I think this is a good idea. What do you think?
How can I help?
Yeah, he's not.
Can I ask you a question?
It's just not his presence. I've joked.
Yeah,
you're the only one that like I tell you stories about.
Yeah, about how he operates, how
he's grossly misrepresented in terms of his style within the program.
Question about Snow.
Okay,
true or false? You may not know. This is probably just a gut on what you think.
I'll take it.
If he had wanted the job, he would have been the initial hire. Like if he wanted to still do this full time as a defensive coordinator. Now, I don't mean before Butler. I mean before Tony White. Like when Coach Rhule came here, if Phil Snow was still interested in doing this full time, he would have already been the guy.
I'm going to disagree.
Okay. Because that's the sense that's out there from a lot of the fan base.
I'll disagree on that.
Okay.
Now, gosh, that's kind of layered. So, would he have liked him on staff? Sure, in year one as kind of the safety blanket, a confidant to come along with me.
Kind of like he did this year.
I'll say yes.
Okay, but you don't think it would have been the DC?
I don't think he would. I don't think he would be what Coach Rhule wanted as a long-term answer.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I gotcha. That makes sense. I think that's because I think that's a sense that's out there.
Yeah, I don't really agree.
Okay. Let me ask you this, because this has come up in the chat a couple times. I think it's a fair question.
Okay.
Do you think there is a particular defensive style or schematic that he's looking for, or is it more about energy, personality, track record? Like, do you think he's like, hey, I want to hire another 3-3-5 guy or a 4-3 guy? Like, do you think that matters in this process?
Well, yes, but it's relative to what the roster has. So you have to look at the body types.
Okay.
And it's the chicken or the egg argument.
I have this, and this on our roster.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we have to work with. Can we do this until we can flip, or I don't really want to flip later. This is what we have. Can you make this work?
Okay. So less
not a sexy answer, but it's practical.
So less philosophical, more practical.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I think a lot of people are thinking about it as a philosophical.
The better question for me is, and again, this is just because we talked about it before the hire last year, is he didn't take the I hate how, and it's not anybody's opinion's fault because they don't know, but I hate how there's this sentiment that he hired Butler because it was the safe thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, and I told you the whole time, I'm like, God, this is killing. Like,
it's something he really had a hard time with.
He struggled. Really struggled. So the better question is, what did he learn this time around
that he'll apply?
That he'll apply. That he'll apply to the hire.
I want to make sure I understand, or that I explain properly for the people listening about what the struggle was about. In my sense, the struggle Coach Rhule had with deciding to hire Butler versus going outside was, hey, I like maybe, he mentioned the sitting defensive coordinator thing that when he was going out in the search, I think I took that as experience. Somebody who had an experience doing this recently at this level versus kind of like some of the things we're already doing. How much do I want to upset the apple cart? Is that fair to sum down the struggle, or was it more than that?
Ask me one more time.
In my mind, the struggle was between basically experience versus status quo. I want a guy that's done this recently at this level versus I like some of the things we're doing already and don't necessarily want to change everything.
Okay, so I think the latter part is pretty important.
Okay.
I think he liked the preparation. I think he liked some of the things that they were doing philosophically. And given what his roster was going to be this year, it was advantageous. Because what you have to understand, and I think is part of it, if you don't want to start over completely philosophically, is what am I working with?
Okay. And clearly he didn't want to start over philosophically.
Well, there's a give and take there.
Or that's where he landed.
Yeah.
Right? That not wanting to.
Yeah, because I think I have these good young guys at this position. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think he's going to look for a couple of things. And how you get there, I guess they can talk through given what they're currently working with. But you ultimately, you have to be stout at the point of attack.
Yeah.
All right, you just...
Whatever that looks like.
Whatever it looks like, you have to be stout at the POA. And then, two, I think he wants to be aggressive. It's just kind of who he is. So... I wouldn't be surprised if there'll be more guys to change either roles or to be in and out of the program. But I think for right now, those are the keys.
It's my sense, kind of based on, you mentioned maybe possible more changes in the program. It's my sense based on what he said after hiring Dana full time, that whoever the defensive coordinator is going to have quite a bit of say over the position coaches.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty typical, right?
And all coaches have non-negotiables. Right. I just had my coaching eval with Coach Lamanji, and this is just on the high school level, right?
Yeah.
Like there are certain things he'll want me to do differently or give me freedom to do, but there are non-negotiables.
Yeah, like, hey, we have to do X, Y, Z.
So or with this guy or this player. So I think all coaches have that. And Coach Rhule has to be cognizant of relationship builders, good recruiters.
You have to have the right mix.
Guys that understand how to operate within the building.
Yeah.
Right? Because the underrated part of this whole deal that people roll their eyes at because Cignetti was able to do it. But Cignetti told you how to do it, and it worked, and we're just not – we don't really like it. Where we are is he hired guys that he trusted, that he knew, that had worked with him for double-digit years.
Yeah. How much?
And we've seen coaches try that.
Yeah.
And it hasn't worked because of, for whatever the reason.
Yeah.
Frost brought darn near his whole staff, and we were so mad.
I will say,
hang on though.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's good. Like, it's fine. Just hold the thought.
Yeah.
I'm not making the case for or against. I'm just telling you what's happened before. And or you bring a coach will bring his staff, like Langsdorf or whatever, and there's this like collective eye roll. It all can work as long as you win, is my point. Because it's not like when Cignetti brought his guys over from JMU, people didn't second guess or question, well, how does JMU translate to Bloomington? The difference is without the expectation level or benchmark, anything was going to be better than what you had. That's not what you're doing here. So I hate it's all fruit.
Yeah.
But it's apples to oranges. Now, that's not to say Cignetti's not a fantastic coach, because he clearly is.
But it's different to do it at Indiana versus.
He did it in similar ways other coaches have tried. And we called them buddy hires.
Yeah. So here's the one thing I will say is different between
experience,
the length of the relationships, and
does it matter where they are?
So I think it matters the amount of success they had,
regardless of level.
Yeah, I do. Because
what if I wanted to hire a successful high school coach
as an assistant?
Yeah. Is that different than hiring a successful guy at JMU going to Bloomington?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
I'm just looking for the
I think
parameters in which we're going to justify this, because I don't want to move the goalposts.
Much like we do with players, I think you have to have a very clear idea of what the desired result is and what you believe the characteristics are that get you that desired result. I think it's the same on a coaching staff as it is with players. If you've got a desired result, let's say it's your desired result of a certain attitude and a certain level of aggression from your defensive coordinator or from your defense. Your defensive coordinator has to embody those things in order to get that desired result. Your defensive coordinator then has to hire or help you hire assistants that have those characteristics to get that desired result, right? The thing about Curt Cignetti is he knew with that staff, because you mentioned double-digit years, and they had won, just Google him, at every single stop they'd been at. So he had a history of knowing for a fact that the characteristics of the staff that he trusted around him led to the results he desired. The difference between him and Frost, and then this isn't a hating on Frost thing, the difference is Scott Frost to this day has one winning season ever. And he only had 2 with that coaching staff at UCF. So he didn't really know, right? He didn't actually know the things that Curt Cignetti knows about the guys he's bringing with him. He may have thought he knew, but he didn't actually know. So to me, that would be the difference between, and to be fair, you don't know until you take them and it doesn't or does work.
That's kind of what I was going to how I was going to land.
Which is totally fair. That's a totally fair point. But that's where, and this is where we get the revisionist history and the benefit of hindsight. That's where the buddy hire comes in. If it works out, it's like, oh, look at the chemistry and the trust on that coaching staff. If it doesn't work out, it's like, why'd he hire all of his buddies?
Yeah, I think the thing that I struggle with is it's a little disingenuous to want to have this comparison of Coach X did it and like, why can't we, when we've never really allowed even similar thought processes to play out before we were super judgmental.
Correct.
So if that's going to be the case, then just say all that matters is if they win or not.
And let's be honest, that's all that does matter.
Yeah, but the problem is we got all these strong opinions while we're tearing things down in the meantime till we figure it out.
And it makes it harder to figure out.
We're so quick to want to judge everybody else's behavior, but we never stop and say, well, man, am I contributing? And some people do, but then you'll get man, I pay my this, so I should get to do this. But nope, but if you heard a coach say, you're paying me to do this, and this is my job, so I'm gonna do this, like we would be mortified.
Yeah.
Right? But when I It just so happens in one of our, pregame deals, we bring in a guy to help with the mental outlooks.
Mm-hmm.
He works with championship caliber teams around the country. Nebraska volleyball is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have a dog in the fight when it comes to Nebraska versus not Nebraska. I'm looking at old Kurt Signetti clips from Ooey Pooey, from Indiana, Fort Wayne. I can't even, it's changed names.
Yeah.
But his starting point.
The D2, whatever. Yeah.
He sounds the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds the exact same. And when he tells you, hey, my strength coach I had for 11 years, my DC I had for 12 years, my OC, so he knew what we were about.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we're in the building, this is the day-to-day. I don't know if this is hyperbole, but he says, listen, on Mondays it's 45 minutes. We practice for an hour 35, hour 40. We try to be efficient. I want our guys fresh. Do you know why that's cool?
Because they won.
Because they win.
Yeah.
Could he say that out loud?
No. Because they'd be like, why aren't you practicing longer? That's not long enough.
Because of the expectations.
Yep.
It's like, it just is what it is, and we dance around it like that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flawed comparison. And I get your whole they're both fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think his situation is unique.
Yeah.
It just is.
No, I agree. I think it is significantly easier to build something when no one's watching.
Or that no one cares.
Yeah. Because there is also this, I mean, if we want to talk.
We act like if you make a certain amount of money, you should be above opinions. But in reality,
that's literally not true of any person.
When you're encompassed by it and you're engulfed by it all the time, like it can influence you.
Yeah.
Now, what happens what do they do in Columbus, or what do they do in Georgia? I'm sure all those things are true.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is guess where we're not?
At the same place they are.
We're not in Columbus and we're not in Georgia. So why do I care? I can only address how it manifests itself where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I can only address how I need to be where my feet are at.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know.
I do think there's something. We got to take a break here real quick to get to our guy Jacob Padilla. Talk a little.
I forgot we got JP
today. Talk a little Nebraska volleyball, who very, very good, by the way. I don't know if you know this. They're quite good.
Are they the number one overall seed?
Number one overall seed. I don't know if you know this. They only lost one set during all conference play. That's pretty solid. So we'll talk to Jacob coming up next year. But good discussion there on kind of staff construction and what that might look like. You're on the Justin Wilcox train. I'm on the Jim Leonard train. I think
at least early, yeah.
I think we would both be happy with either hire. Don't want to speak for you, but I think we'd both be happy if either of those guys came here to Lincoln. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live and Jacob Padilla coming up next.
I didn't notice anything. I mean, you might have seen things on TV that I didn't see. I thought like on Emmett's run, I thought there were huge blocks. There were just a couple miscommunications, right? Like there's a couple times we're running option routes and guy sits it down and I had no concerns with effort or anything like that. What I did see was 3 or 4 times we had a 50-50 ball and we did unfortunately we didn't come down with it. Their kid even at the end made a great catch for it, but I think our receivers have played well all year. We get in the game, we got a young quarterback, he pulls his hamstring and kind of limited maybe some of their opportunities. And also Emmett was, in a disappointing day, I don't know the right word. It was an amazing effort by him. I mean, that was something that, I'll probably remember for a long time, just how hard he played and how well he played. And, but yeah, I'm just trying to think, Sam, I'm sorry. I don't remember feeling like, hey, they're not playing hard or anything like that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, Justin. I mean, there's nothing that anybody can do about this right now. It's out of everybody's control. I just talked about it in the locker room. We lost a guy that helped win a lot of games for us last year with Connor. And, we're still waiting on Oogie and Leo to get back healthy as well. I thought Jared Garcia gave us as good a stretch as he's been all year. We actually had him guard the 5 a little bit, and I liked the way it looked when he was out there with BK. But what was he, plus 17 in his 10 minutes, and he had 5 big defensive rebounds for us. So, this is a growth game for Jared. Kendall's going to have to give us minutes moving forward as well. It's good to see him get out there on the floor in that first half. So, it's just that next man up mentality. That's what you have to have. And, again, I'm confident our guys are going to bounce back with good effort. It's a good, wake up call. I don't know what you call this for our guys, but, we need to bounce back with great effort and preparation, obviously, for a big game coming up next week.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Serve sail to the back right. That's Maisie. Perfect pass. Center to Bergen Riley. Point set match. Big Red. That's perfection. 30-0. And the 2025 Huskers join the 1994 and 2000 Husker teams. Perfect in the regular season. And on to December we go.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Rhule. We are joined now by Jacob PADILLA of Hurrdat Sports, Hail Varsity, NebPreps. He does it all. What's up, Jacob?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Young Jacob, I apologize for just assuming you were going to agree to come on, man. Your quick clap back in the text strand let me know, ooh. I'm going to blame it on Ravi because he said you weren't going to be up yet. And sure enough, the 60-second response, I'm like, I told Ravi, I go, oh, he's up.
Yeah.
How you been, man?
Busy day yesterday. I'm doing all right. We knocked out the football award show last night.
Fantastic sold work, you guys, behind the scenes, man. You saw it, the whole crew. It was that's a fantastic and a lot of homework.
Yeah, no kidding. There was a lot on our plates the last couple of weeks trying to get through the volleyball and football awards. This is the first year that we've done volleyball, so having a couple of them within a month of each other was a lot of work. So it's good to get through those. The reception was awesome. It was really cool to see there and see the number of winners that were able to make it and the distances they traveled. We had somebody from Hemingford make it there. Sydney, Kean Kaiser was there on his little knee scooter. Made it all the way over.
That actually was pretty cool to see on the videos.
Yeah, so it was awesome. And I'd say it'd be nice to take a deep breath and relax, but it's basketball season, guys.
Yeah.
Got to quickly turn that page.
Which is one of the reasons why we wanted you, so we could double dip. But I want to start with local volleyball with the seating selection show, and we asked, and I know we argue about a lot of the accolades and the postseason stuff, and we get in the nitty gritty, which I always think is cool statistically. But when you look, I'm going to start with Nebraska before we hop over. We'll flip-flop with Creighton too, volleyball. But when you look at Nebraska statistically, whether it's opponents' hitting percentage, their hitting percentage, the fact that they can share the wealth, the fact that, listen, a player like Harper Murray can actually be overlooked, if there is such a thing. When you look at
the prowess of the regular season, do you have a comp in terms of sports dominance?
Yeah, not just like I'm not certainly not a volleyball historian, so I don't have a direct comparison. And I can't, like, volleyball's such a different sport too, in the way that Danny Buston Kelly has gone about this season and is different than I am used to seeing, just in terms of her use of the entire roster and the like how many times has she just pulled her All-Americans and played others and there hasn't been a drop off. That's probably the most important or most impressive part of it. Is just it doesn't really matter what they do. There have been no speed bumps or whatever they try has essentially worked. And yeah, just the overall dominance. The fact that they were on pace a while ago to set a program hitting percentage, and every week it just goes up somehow. I don't know how, but it's a 352 hitting right now on the season, and they're only giving up 125. So that is an insane disparity for what they're accomplishing versus what they're allowing. So I don't know. I don't really have a good comp for just kind of the makeup of this team and the way they've gone about getting to this point.
We argued a little bit about the postseason awards, conference and nationally. How tough you think it is? And how about the part about being overshadowed by teammates on such a great team?
Yeah, it's tough because I know we were talking about it in the group chat. Just you look at this team and Bergen Riley has kind of become the face of the team in terms of maybe awards discussion and all that. And in large part, I think, because of the credit that her teammates and coaches have assigned to her. Like anytime you ask about the offensive improvement and the way that this team's operating and all that, Bergen's the first one they'll all mention, whether that's Buston Kelly herself or her teammates. And Bergen will defer to her teammates, but she's the one that's kind of at the center of this and orchestrating this whole thing. And they've talked about just the improvements that she's made and the way that she makes it look so smooth for the team, even when maybe they weren't passing the best that they have all season, and she still found a way to keep them balanced offensively and keep everybody involved. So, but then, you look at what Andy Jackson's doing. She just set a Big Ten record for hitting percentage. She hit 559 in conference. She had 23 errors in 20 matches in the Big Ten this season, which is insane. And we were talking a couple of weeks into the season, like, and she was like going through like an existential crisis. Just like she's hitting under 300 and talked about kind of the pressure that she put on herself.
Yeah, she brought it. I was telling Ravi, she brought up the kind of the media, and DBK was like, well, that was the media's vantage point, not internally. It was refreshing to hear somebody that's so good and so dominant reference that can actually be a thing, because sometimes we act like it isn't for athletes.
Yeah, and she had a couple week stretch there where she wasn't playing like herself, and yet she still led the country in hitting percentage and set a record. So you've got Bergen, who is leading the best offense in the country. You've got the single most terminal attacker in the country in Andy Jackson, and then you've got Harper Murray as well over there, who 6 rotation does so much for them defensively, passing in the back row. Her back row attack has continued to evolve. Oh, and she's hitting over 300 on the left pin as well. The one thing that, like, the knock, not necessarily against her play or whatever, but just where maybe she struggles to stand out from others, is just kind of the sheer volume some other pins in the country and in the conference get, just because she's not going to get that with how good this team is, how balanced it is, and how Bergen is able to keep everybody involved. That being said, like, she's as important to this team as anybody, and like you, in a big moment, Harper's the one that's getting the ball going her way, and she's just as likely to dime a serve or step up and make a big dig or whatever as well in big moments. So it's like you can argue in circles about this team, about who the best, who the most important is, but because that's the case, and all three are playing at an elite level, that kind of sets the stage for Nebraska being as good as they are. In addition to all the kind of the role players per se filling in and doing their job and just making it so tough to focus on any one part of this team.
As the great Lincoln Arneal pointed out in his write-up, listen, 15 teams Nebraska played that qualified. But how about these host teams and what some considered a down year for the Big Ten, right? Wisconsin is top 16, Purdue, Minnesota, Indiana, USC. They're top 16 national seeds, not to mention they played Kentucky, Pitt, Stanford, and Creighton, right? When I said in the group chat, you look up and all of a sudden Creighton is atop the conference. They qualified. They're a top 16 national seed. How interesting is that they kind of flipped the switch and really got it going in what I think is a better conference than it has been in the Big East?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they should have gotten 4 bids. They only got the 3, but still, that's a massive improvement from where the conference has been. And, yeah, I mean, we were sitting there, start of the season, a few weeks in, after Creighton gone through that gauntlet and wasn't able to win any of those big matches early. You're like, ooh, where's the season going to go? Obviously, Brian Rosen's first season making the decisions, and they lost some of the best players in program history. And early on, it wasn't clicking to the level that we thought it could. And they credit to them because they found it out. They won some big matches a little later into the non-conference, and then obviously took care of business throughout the Big East despite the improved competition level, and looked dominant in some of those. Like their tournament performance was incredible. With Ava Martin, the way that she's playing right now, Annalea Mater really settled in, and that was the key for her to be playing at the level she is after coming in. She was a late transfer addition in that she didn't get to go through the spring with the M, so didn't have that time to really figure out the setter-hitter connection. And so like the player she is now is not even close to the player she was at the start of the season, and that's been huge for the team's improvement getting to this point. But yeah, to finish with a top 10 RPI, and I mean that is they laughed about the present that Kirsten left Rosen with the schedule, and they definitely took their lumps early on, but they came out better for it. And I think that challenging schedule is part of the respect that they earned. I mean, they probably could have been in discussion for a 2 seed. Had they won any one of those games that they dropped early on, they definitely would have been there. But still, to be a 3 seed, I think shows the respect that the program has earned over the years to where I think maybe a few years ago, obviously the conference wouldn't have been as good, but it's really impressive job for Rosen in his first season to kind of go through those early struggles and for the team to find itself and to get to this point now where they've got a chance to make a run here.
So Jacob, kind of a more philosophical question here. It's really easy to look at this roster and say, okay, obviously ton of the same faces from the last couple of years. Obviously the assistant coaches are very similar as well. There has been what feels like a dramatic improvement, even though this team was awesome last year. From last year to this year, still seems like a pretty significant improvement. It's really easy just to say, well, hey, that's the difference between Coach Cook, who obviously is legendary, and DBK. Is there more to it in your mind? Is it just another year older, another year of development? Is it, hey, sometimes just a different voice in your ears, what you need? Like, what do you chalk it up to?
I think it's all of that. I think definitely continued progression from the core of this team. I mean, heck, Rebecca Alec took a big leap from where she was a year ago, and all the juniors are better. And you've got freshmen making an instant impact that weren't on the team last year. So you've got kind of the libero situation where both of those two have risen up, and not Lexi Rodriguez, but there hasn't really been a drop off no matter who has donned the jersey. Like it's worked both ways, and Danny Bussum Kelly has played with both of them in that spot. So I think definitely it's just continued progression for a lot of these players has factored into it. But then I think too, we talked about at the beginning of the season, like how the different approach that Danny takes has a chance to really kind of push this team over the top to continue to build off of the foundation that Cook established while adding Bussum Kelly's tweaks to it and some of the different ways that she likes to play. I thought had a chance to unlock something with this team and allow them to maybe go farther than they have previously. And to this point, obviously, the tournament will be the ultimate test. And again, the Big Ten, while still strong, wasn't as strong at the top as it has been in previous years. So we didn't get to see Nebraska tested in the same way as the Wisconsins of the past and Penn State last year and those type of situations. But they also beat 2 1 seeds the first couple weeks of the season. So and they weren't even at what they have become since then at that point. So I think it's just worked out so far to this point. It's kind of been the best case scenario for what I thought this could be with Danny coming in here, and offensively in particular, kind of some of the things that she's unlocked and the way they played. And she keeps talking about how important the depth is and the how much of an emphasis she placed on developing those bench players and just having them ready in case that the team needs it. And they haven't really needed to this point, but when she has gone that direction, they perform. So I think it's just, again, it's clicked perfectly. You could not have asked for a better transition, and the result is the 30-0 record and playing at the level they are right now.
JP, let me take advantage of your skill sets and transition to hoops a little bit. Ravi and I, off air, were talking about maybe not who's the biggest loss to their team, but who's best equipped to overcome the season-ending injuries. Is it Nebraska with Esijan and the way they want to play, or Creighton with McAndrew and what happens in that front court?
Probably Nebraska. I know you're talking about Matt, maybe how important he is to kind of their floor spacing, some of the actions they run. But I think with the way some of the level some of those guys are playing right now and the team as a whole, how it's clicked, whether he's on the court or not, I think that they can get by. Creighton right now, I think the biggest issue with Creighton is this is a team that needed to find some stability and really settle in and come together. And the roster just keeps changing. They've had so many injuries, and we'll see kind of what happens tonight. I think there's somebody else missed practice yesterday, so we'll see kind of what that means. So obviously you had the redshirt poll changing the lineup potential, and so they just had. I mean, with Freeman, his kind of moment by moment status where you never quite know what he's going to be able to give you. They just haven't been able to find any consistency. And so I don't know, even in the Vegas tournament where they had the same roster for 3 straight games, they played different lineups every single game, and they tried different things because some things worked, some things didn't. They were searching. And so you don't necessarily want to be searching at this point to the degree that Creighton is. So I think they've got personnel to replace. Obviously, Isaac Trout, when he's feeling it, can replace some of the floor spacing, and you can run some of the same actions with him. You've got Hudson Greer kind of mixing in there as both 3 and 4 that allows you to play different ways depending on who's out there. You've got Jason Green, who we talked about earlier in the season, needed to get more minutes, and well, now he's getting more minutes, but obviously a completely different type of player, although he is shooting confidently this season. Just teams aren't going to guard him the same way they would have McAndrew. So I think Nebraska, just for the sake of continuity and togetherness and where they are right now, they can afford to replace him a little bit easier just because of the way that Braden Frager is playing. Obviously, Price Sanford's playing at a really high level, and Cale Jacobson too, just kind of plugging holes there, filling in the gaps. Creighton right now, I think they're just very much in searching mode. So adding another variable in losing McAndrew doesn't help that.
JP, which is more important to you if you're Creighton and are trying to find some semblance of what your team's going to look like in February? Getting Owen Freeman to a point where he can play 20 to 25 minutes a game, or having some idea of what you're going to get out of Nick Graves on any given night?
It starts with Freeman. Like, you have, like, this, if he's not going to be the guy that you invested in and thought you could play there.
Do you guys think he's healthy?
I think that's the question, right? So getting him healthy.
Yeah, he's not hurt, but he's not healthy either. And you can see it in a lot. It's to be expected. Like McDermott, I think a lot of us maybe kind of glossed over the fact that, because he was clear to play, that he was going to be able to get back to himself relatively quickly. But McDermott has kind of urged caution every step of the way, and we're seeing why. And he just missed so much time because he obviously wasn't playing with the finger injury at the second half of last season. And then in the spring had the knee injury and got sidelined even more. So it's 10 months without really playing basketball. And you can see it out there. Like, some of the rebounding issues are he's just not quick enough to react. It's not necessarily and that's kind of the biggest thing I see. It's like, I'm sure there are times where he's not giving it his all or whatever. There are times where it's just pure stamina, but there are also times where he's just not reacting quickly. I think some of the turnovers against double teams, some of the missed shots around the basket. I think a lot it's just not there in every aspect yet. He's just still trying to get used to playing at that level again. And I don't think there's any way you can fast track that besides just playing him. So McDermott's got to continue to give him shots. And if it's not going well, you got to yank him and go try a different direction, and then send him back out there and see if you can get a good stint out of him the next time he's out there. And we've seen that he's had some really active stretches where he's come in, started second halves or whatever at different points, and he's gone out and been disruptive with his hands defensively, got out and scored some buckets early on and secured some contested rebounds. Like, okay, that's what it needs to look like. He just can't get there all the time yet. And so, like, it's got to start there because he's got to balance out the offense, and you need what he can provide you. But the second question is very important, and you need one of Fedor Zugic or
don't get Ravi started.
Yeah, you need one of Fedor Zugic and Austin Swartz as well. Like, the backcourt as a whole needs to settle in. You can lump all three of those guys together because I think that the backup, like 2-3 minutes right now, are both a struggle regardless. And we may need to see McDermott kind of go one direction or the other. And we did see that in the Oregon where Swartz didn't play. I don't know long-term if that's kind of what it needs to be, but it's kind of hard if you're giving 8 minutes to each of the guys and neither one of them is able to get into a rhythm or really find anything. So we'll see kind of how he continues to approach that aspect of it. But yeah, Graves right now, that's the other key. And I think with Freeman, the difficult thing there is you just don't know how long is it going to take. Mm-hmm. And we know there's definitely like a health aspect to it there. Whereas Graves, it's just adjusting to the level of play and the system and all that. And we've seen some brief stretches of it. And there was a point in the preseason where it was like, because Matt Deemer tonight, we had our doubts just based on what we saw in summer workouts and all that. And then by the tail end, before the match started, even in the exhibitions, it looked really good. Like, okay, that we now see the vision, and he's kind of regressed to what I feared once the games had started, and obviously, the issue is they don't really have backups options like Ty Davis, high minutes. Just you're not going to get what you need there at this point. And they tried the Josh Dix at point guard minutes, and there have been some moments, and I think it's something they need to continue to develop to get their best players on the court. But it wasn't great, and like it put so much pressure on him, and we saw that out in Vegas. Those it didn't really click. It's the problem is we just reeled off three. You mix in missing McAndrew and kind of the various injuries, and it's like 4 issues right now that we just covered already that none of them have a clear answer just yet. And I think that's why Creighton's sitting at 4-3 right now.
Let me get you out of here on this, JP, with I think 6 teams in the Big Ten in the top 25, and pulling up the rear, kind of the USC, Indiana. Ravi and I got into a discussion off air about Indiana versus Iowa and kind of the hirings there. You think Nebraska's going to be closer to the middle of the pack in what could be a really good Big Ten season, or towards the back of the pack where they were picked preseason?
That's a good. They haven't quite just the schedule has been solid, but you haven't faced any teams that are the level of the top half of the Big Ten at this point. Like Oklahoma, that was a good win, but
I'm kind of looking at USC. If USC's 24, I've watched them a couple of times. I'm like,
yeah,
and it's early. That's the thing. So obviously we have to kind of forecast. But I'm just curious what you think when you look at how you think these teams are capable of playing.
Yeah, well, USC is one of the few teams that's going to have a player older than the rink mass, so Nebraska kind of loses that advantage. Chad Baker-Mazara somehow still playing college basketball. But
did you know mass was going to be that important? Even last year when they talked about him being missing?
Oh, without a doubt, especially as the roster came together. Well, if you go back to last year, you just look at them trying to run actions with the bigs they had and how poorly it went. They didn't have a guy that could do all the things that Mass did for the team, even though they tried to still play somewhat similar in ways with some of the dribble handoff stuff. And it didn't go super well. So like I knew how important he was last year. And then as they put the roster together this season, and this kind of goes into the initial question is like, where are they going to settle in the Big Ten? We'll see as we get into the tougher part of the schedule where they start facing some teams that I think can better attack some of their weaknesses and exploit some things with this roster. Like I still have questions about the backcourt and the ability to create and consistently break down defenses and set things up. I thought coming in, the way they built the roster without kind of a real dynamic, reliable point guard or even perimeter creation option, like that put so much stress on and so much importance on Mass and his ability to initiate offense and set things up and run through him in the high post and the dribble handoffs and the low post getting other guys looks, because they don't have like Jamarcus Lawrence has played solid. Like I don't think he's really a dynamic point guard that can really create offense. He can run things through. Same thing, Sam Hoiberg. He's been so good for them in the role that he plays, but I just don't know that you've got a guy that can consistently break down defenses off the dribble, run a lot of ball screens and be really threatening in those actions, and things like that. So you have to play through Mass. He's your guy that has the best chance to create an advantage. And we're seeing Price Sanford's ability to not only just shoot, but attack closeouts and get downhill and do some things in that way. And he's kind of emerging as a co-star, I guess, if you want to say, with Mass.
It's cool to see his game evolve for those of us that have watched him in the summer a lot, right? We knew kind of what he was. And a lot of it is his mentality. Like, he's an aggressive, confident person.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously last year at Iowa, I think allowed him to kind of find his footing at the college level, and now just a continued progression. And I think Fred Hoiberg adding some things into kind of the coaching and development there has allowed him to take a big step forward. And he's been a huge part of the start to the season, and he's going to continue. And they're going to need him to continue to go in that direction. And but again, like a lot of what he's doing is started by others, created, whether it's the attention paid to Mast or some of the other things they're doing, again, with his ability to attack closeouts and knock down shots. So, Mast has played a really important role, and we'll have to see if they get into conference play, do they have some guys that can that can put up more resistance for what Mast wants to do. And
he's going to stretch him, though.
The case. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. We'll see kind of when you find some teams that have a little bit more athleticism and size than maybe they've seen thus far, kind of the mix of the two, just better overall players at that spot. But it's going to put more pressure on the other guys to be able to go win consistently. And that's kind of the question remaining. But no doubt, Rienk Mast, I think you couldn't have asked anything more for him coming back with all the time that he missed. And he's the biggest reason why Nebraska is off to the start.
That is our guy, Jacob Padilla, Hurrdat Sports, Hail Varsity, NebPreps, all the things.
That's pretty comprehensive, JP.
Got all the ground covered.
We even touched on the Suns, but that's what the group chat will be for.
We'll get to that later. Surprisingly spicy early in the season. That's what we'll say about the Suns.
Colin Gillespie. He's changed my life. I don't know how, but he has.
Wow.
Write that down.
About to revoke your Creighton card with that one. JP, we'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, bye, guys.
That is Jacob Padilla.
Oh, Lord.
He works for all of our entities, basically. That's the show for today. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back tomorrow. Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.